Fairy Tale, Summoning the Great Tomb of Nazarick at the start. Chapter 1. World of Fairy Tale. North, the Kingdom of Heartfilia. This is a small country with a population of less than 1 million. Although there are not many people, it has always had a mild climate and beautiful environment, and everyone is very happy. On this day, a young man named Lin Yan came to the palace of Heartfilia Kingdom. It should be here. I can find out that this country is the only one in trouble recently. When he came to the gate of the royal palace in the Kingdom of Heartfilia, Lin Yan thought for a moment. This time his target is the Kingdom of Heartfilia, a country that has already stepped into the line of death with 1 foot. Who are you? This is not a place you can come, go back. The 2 guards in front of the palace stopped Lin Yan and looked at Lin Yan with a frown. Lin Yan was wearing a pure black swordsman costume at this time, with a pair of eyes like black holes, which made people feel unfathomable. In response, Lin Yan didn't say much, just smiled and shook his head, and then something happened that shocked the 2 guards. Lin Yan just disappeared from their sight. Mage. The 2 guards were shocked when they saw this scene. Without any hesitation, one of them left quickly and reported to the superior. Different from the era in which the main line of the original work began, in this era, magic has not fully erupted, so the existence of mages is still very rare, and Lin Yan shows more space magic. Space magic is one of the very few among the many wizards. It's not a good thing for a rare space wizard to run into the palace. This is especially true for guards like them. Lin Yan came to the interior of the palace. Unlike the prosperity of the city outside, everyone in the palace seems to have died and the whole family is gloomy. The overall atmosphere is extremely depressing. Sure enough. Seeing this scene, the corner of Lin Yan's mouth turned up slightly. Without any hesitation, he walked into the palace hall. As soon as he entered, Lin Yan saw a very beautiful girl. This is the princess of Heartfilia Kingdom, Anna Heartfilia. That's right, the princess of the Kingdom of Heartfilia. Anna Heartfilia is the ancestor of the heroine Lucy Heartfilia in the original book, the celestial spirit wizard who was also exceptionally powerful 400 years ago. Anna Heartfilia has beautiful long blonde hair and wears a gorgeous princess dress with white gold trim. She is slender, fair-skinned, and has delicate features like a doll, which makes people yearn for it. However, at this time, Princess Anna was kneeling on the ground, staring blankly at the corpse of the middle-aged man sitting on the throne who had long since died, with a sad and desperate expression. So that Lin Yan came in directly from the outside without any notice. The man who died sitting on the throne was Anna's father, Heartfilia IV, and the cause of death was collapse. Heartfilia IV was notified by a giant dragon of the Dragon Clan a few days ago that he was going to destroy Heartfilia in a week. Facing the threat posed by the terrible Dragon Clan, Heartfilia IV finally couldn't bear the pressure and chose to commit suicide. Because the situation was extremely serious, Anna chose to temporarily block the news, otherwise the country would have been in chaos. The dragon race is absolutely powerful in this era, and the human race has no room for resistance. I don't know how many geniuses have emerged from ancient times to the present, but the gap between the human race and the dragon race is so desperate. In the era of fairy tale 400 years ago, the dragons were the absolute protagonists of the world. However, even if the news is blocked, it is only a temporary expedient. In 2 days, the dragons will attack, and the Kingdom of Heartfilia, which has been established for nearly 200 years, is about to end in destruction. Why is this so? Even though we have our own lives, the dragons want to come and destroy them wantonly. Looking blankly at her father, Heartfilia IV, Anna thought so. Princess Anna. Need my help? Lin Yan looked at Anna who was kneeling on the ground and looked confused, and smiled. Help? Who are you? Looking at Lin Yan who suddenly appeared, Anna was surprised, then frowned, and said, How did you get in? It is definitely not an ordinary person who can appear here silently. As the princess of the Kingdom of Heartfilia, although Anna is still young, there is no problem with her vision. My name is Lin Yan. From a distant place, for some reason, came here. Speaking of this, Lin Yan's face showed a hint of helpless dark color. In fact, Lin Yan is from the earth, and he traveled to the world of fairy tale because of a system. Chapter 2. System, 10,000 Realms. Host, Lin Yan. Reputation, 0. Power, no. Task, Novice Guide Task. Novice Guidance Quest, take control of a faction during the Novice Protection period. Novice Guide Mission Reward, the system is bound for life, and the Legion is summoned once. Warm reminder, during the newcomer protection period, the host is immune to all attacks and can freely use all the magic in the fairy tale world from ancient times to the present, but it is limited to knowing what it is and how it is. It was only by the invincible effect of the novice protection period that Lin Yan was able to find this place in this dangerous world. As for why it takes so much effort, of course, it is because Lin Yan's ideology has not changed, and he does not want to directly rule a country by powerful force. Of course, the novice protection period is only 10 days. If the novice protection period is about to end without finding a suitable country, then Lin Yan can't care so much. It will directly use invincible power to rule a country. The Far East. Then, Lin Yan, what is your purpose for breaking into the palace without authorization? After hearing Lin Yan's words, Anna didn't let go of her vigilance against Lin Yan. After all, from the way Lin Yan appeared and the tone of his speech, no matter how you look at it, I feel that Lin Yan is not a good person. I am ready to take over your kingdom. Lin Yan didn't fidget and stated his purpose directly and very directly. There is nothing to be embarrassed about. Lin Yan has already known the current situation of this country through some means. It can be said that if there is no accident, this country should be almost gone. Moreover, Lin Yan also knew this Princess Anna. Before the time travel, Lin Yan just previewed the entire fairy tale, and Anna Heartfilia, the ancestor of the heroine of the original work, still knew it. The only thing that surprised Lin Yan was that there was still a setting for the kingdom of Heartfilia in this era 400 years ago, which was not drawn in the original work. Just to briefly explain, the character of Anna is a very powerful celestial spirit wizard. Are you sure you're not joking? Anna looked at Lin Yan and felt a little funny, and laughed at herself. This country has officially counted down. In 2 days, the dragons will come here to destroy everything. Even if you are a very powerful wizard, and you can come to me quietly, I am afraid that there will be no good results. From ancient times to the present, not even a single human wizard can defeat the dragon race. Of course I know. So, I'm telling you very seriously, I'm going to control the kingdom of Heartfilia. Lin Yan ignored Anna's self-deprecating expression and said, I will solve all the difficulties faced by the kingdom of Heartfilia at that time. If you cooperate with me, as a reward, I will allow you to retain your identity as a princess. It allows you to continue to run the country, and even, you can do more. The system has a standard for controlling a country. If you want to destroy a country, Lin Yan can sit down in minutes, but if you want to control a country, it is a little more difficult, so Lin Yan wants Anna to cooperate with him. Even Lin Yan doesn't really want to run the country in the future, he just wants to go everywhere by himself. So if Anna is really obedient, it doesn't matter if Lin Yan has a name. We're just a small country on the brink of extinction. What's in here worth your risk? Anna still said suspiciously, if you really have this confidence, or even have this strength, what if the kingdom of Heartfilia lets you control it? But, is your strength really worth relying on? The weak will never know the height of the sky. Whether my strength is worth relying on, you can prove it with your own eyes. A chuckle. Lin Yan directly used space ninjutsu to make a piece of soil and a newly sprouted flower appear on his hand. Then, under Anna's horrified eyes, Lin Yan directly used time magic to make the little flowers bloom quickly and then wither, and then let the withered flowers fall back to the state of just sprouting, reflecting the mystery of withering glory. Those who don't understand naturally don't understand it, and at most feel a little miraculous, but those who do understand naturally know how terrifying what Lin Yan showed just now. Space magic and time magic. You actually control these two magics to such a degree. Looking at Lin Yan, Anna was horrified. Although space magic and time magic exist, they have almost become an existence in history. Few people have learned it since ancient times. Once they learn it, even dragons will feel troublesome. Unexpectedly, Lin Yan can know both, and both are proficient. I'm afraid, the world is so big, there is no place he can't go. In her heart, Anna directly gave Lin Yan such a comment. Being proficient in time magic and space magic, even if there is still no way to take the dragon family, there must be no way for the dragon family to take Lin Yan. The combination of these two magics is really invincible. Chapter 3. Your eyesight is okay. Lin Yan teleported directly in front of Anna, her fingers hooked up on Anna's white chin, and praised, how about it, consider my conditions just now. I still appreciate you. The country is too troublesome to manage. And, without me, your country must be hopeless. With me, maybe there is still a little possibility, isn't it? Before crossing, Lin Yan was a hard worker. After crossing, if he had to deal with a lot of things every day like an office worker, then Lin Yan would be a hard worker. Therefore, Lin Yan still values a professional like Anna. Anna Heartfilia, I have seen your majesty. Anna blushed and patted Lin Yan's unruly fingers away. After pondering for a while, she bowed to Lin Yan solemnly to show her submission. With Anna's salute and surrender, Lin Yan's system has also undergone new changes. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the novice task. The 10,000 realms system is bound for life, and the host will receive a reward, a power draw once. Good. After hearing the system beep, the corners of Lin Yan's mouth tilted upwards slightly. The novice task has been successfully completed, and the first step towards the world is about to officially begin. System, 10,000 realms. Host, Lin Yan. Reputation, 1. Power, no. Territory, Kingdom of Heartfilia Royal City, PS, within the territory, immune to all damage. Extract the power. Without any hesitation, Lin Yan directly chose to extract the power. Ding! Start extracting power. In an instant, a huge lottery roulette appeared in Lin Yan's mind, and a large number of power names quickly passed through it. Ionia's 1,500 strong army, the Frisia Legion's invasion team, 12 people, the Zodiac of the Sanctuary, the Great Tomb of Nazarick, the 10 Blades of the Void Circle. It didn't make Lin Yan wait too long, and soon the huge lottery roulette stopped slowly. Ding! Congratulations to the host for gaining power, the Great Tomb of Nazarick. P.S. The forces are absolutely loyal to the protagonist. The forces are as follows. The forces of all realms, the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Leader, Inzulgaon, nickname, Momonga. Tier Guardians, Albedo, Shaltir, Cositus. Domain Guardians, Pandora, Terror, Evil Fox Eater King. Pleiades, Sabas, Yuri, Narbarul, Sauriaxiong. Various sub-powers. As the drawing ended, Lin Yan felt that there was a new card symbolizing the Great Tomb of Nazarick in the Deo system space. After knowing what he had drawn, Lin Yan couldn't help but be overjoyed. It can be said that the Great Tomb of Nazarick is quite a comprehensive and huge force. What was originally a troublesome thing, because of the relationship between the Great Tomb of Nazarick, all the problems were solved head-on. Ding! The extraction is over, a friendly reminder, and a comprehensive revision can be made before the power is manifested. The host can choose to modify the system automatically, or modify it himself. The automatic modification of the system will be executed according to the most genuine wishes of the host. Well, then it will be automatically modified. Ding! Congratulations to the host on the successful modification. Albedo, who loves Momonga, is changed to Albedo, who loves Lin Yan. Shaltir, who has a necrophilia, is changed to Shaltir, who loves Lin Yan, and Narast, who loves Momonga, is changed to Love. Lin Yan's Narast. Who is Narast? There are quite a few NPCs in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, so it should be a beautiful woman. Lin Yan frowned and thought back. Lin Yan has not watched the anime Overlord for a while. There are indeed a lot of characters in it. Lin Yan only remembered a few girls with a lot of scenes and good looks. For example, Albedo and Shaltir, Lin Yan remembered. Shaking his head, forget it if he can't remember it. In the future, he will have time to understand it slowly. Lin Yan has refocused on Anna's side. There are still many things to do in the future. Your Majesty, I'll go and announce to the whole country next. Anna didn't know what happened to Lin Yan in this short period of time, but asked with a serious face, announced that you will become the King of Heartfilia. And how are you going to face the question of the Dragon Clan? If you really have a way, please tell me, Your Majesty. If not, I will notify the whole country so that everyone can escape in an orderly manner. Speaking of this, Anna's expression became a little melancholy. In such a chaotic era, I don't know how many people in this country can survive. It can be said that 1/10 can survive. It can be said to be quite good. Do not worry. Go ahead and announce the news of my becoming a king. Lin Yan looked at Anna and said with a chuckle, after 2 days, you will know what I can do. After speaking, Lin Yan disappeared directly from Anna's line of sight. Anna looked at the place where Lin Yan disappeared, with a worried and hesitant expression, and finally took a deep sigh and went to inform the whole country according to Lin Yan's request. Chapter 4. I don't know if it will be a blessing or a curse. Anna was full of worries about the future. Lin Yan didn't have time to worry about Anna's heart at this time, but thought about where to build the Great Tomb of Nazarick. With the help of all the members of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, many things could become easier. It's just that Lin Yan strolled around Heartfilia's royal city and couldn't find anything particularly suitable. If it is further away, it will be out of the scope of Lin Yan's immune damage. The kingdom of Heartfilia is a small country, with a population of less than 1 million, and Wangcheng has a population of nearly 300,000, and there are not many cities in total. There is no way, Lin Yan can only be a little more casual, and directly build the Great Tomb of Nazarick under the ground of King Heartfilia King City. In the future, the King City may have a little more yin here. It's here, right below the palace. It's a bit obsessive-compulsive, but it has to be symmetrical. Lin Yan made a comparison and finally found a place that was more in line with his heart. He nodded slightly and said with a chuckle, "System, I want to build the Great Tomb of Nazarick here." Ding! Received the host's request and began to build the Great Tomb of Nazarick. As Lin Yan's voice fell, the card in Lin Yan's system space that symbolized the Great Tomb of Nazarick turned into a little starlight, and the corresponding area of the King City was shaking. What happened? Anna, who was about to make a national announcement through magic, was panicked. The Dragon Clan, who once suspected that they would come to destroy the kingdom in 2 days, came early. Don't be nervous. After the Great Tomb of Nazarick was established, Lin Yan left an order on standby, and then he teleported back from using space magic again, and now he is still in Lin Yan's novice protection period, and smiled, "I just do it. With a little preparation, the kingdom of Heartfilia should be safe. There should be a special channel to let everyone in the country know the news of my becoming king." Yes, yes, Your Majesty. I'm going to use communication magic to notify everyone." After hearing Lin Yan's words, Anna calmed down a little, nodded, and continued to walk towards the communication room in the palace. As for the news of why Lin Yan asked Anna to go through the whole country to become the new king, of course, it was because she could gain prestige. Every time a person knows Lin Yan's name can give Lin Yan a point of reputation, and every time a person remembers Lin Yan's name freshly, then Lin Yan can get 10 points of reputation. And when a person is unforgettable to Lin Yan, he can get 100 reputation points. You can get a maximum of 111 reputation points at one time, but you won't be able to get so many reputation points in the future. Each person's follow-up reputation can only provide Lin Yan with a little reputation point for a month, and it will flow. Reputation can do a lot of things. For example, after the novice stage, Lin Yan can only be immune to all damage within his own territory. After leaving the field, Lin Yan once again became an ordinary person. When Lin Yan has reputation points, he can exchange the power system of his own faction. For example, Lin Yan can exchange an attribute panel of the Great Tomb of Nazarick for himself, and can upgrade and strengthen equipment through reputation value, as well as buy skins and props. The level cap of the Great Tomb of Nazarick itself is only 100, but Lin Yan's level cap is 150. However, if you want to rise to level 150, it will be a bit expensive to equip yourself with super god level equipment. That is an astronomical figure. After all, the further you go, the more prestige you need. After making some arrangements, Lin Yan returned to the Great Tomb of Nazarick once again. At this time, in the guild hall of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, the leader Momanga, Albedo and other high-level figures had already been respectfully half-kneeling and waiting for a long time. Lin Yan is also welcome, and those who have the strength will expand and sit directly in the position of Momanga in the original book. Flying Bat. Lin Yan looked at the huge pure white skeleton half-kneeling in front of him, wearing a gorgeous cloak, and asked with a smile, "How is the situation in the Great Tomb of Nazarick?" "Everything is normal." Momanga answered with a serious face, and then asked curiously, "But, boss, are we crossing over?" Although it has the attribute of absolute loyalty, it does not change the character of the character. On Momanga's side, it is still equivalent to closing his eyes for a while, suddenly changing from the state of the game closed to the game world. Almost. Lin Yan also had nothing to hide and said, "Anyway, the outside world is definitely not a game world, but a real magic world. But there is no such thing as necromancy in this world, remember to disguise it when you go out. The name of the country above is Heartfilia. If you are fine in normal times, you can take care of it." Chapter 6. Sure, no problem. Momanga was a little excited. As a young man from a house, crossing the other world is something Momanga has longed for. Kindness. Lin Yan nodded, and then turned his attention to the others. The creators of the Great Tomb of Nazarick are all aliens, so many of the Great Tombs of Nazarick are not humanoid NPCs, and only a few can leave with Lin Yan. Most of them still need to stay in the Great Tomb of Nazarick. In the next time, Lin Yan ordered a few humanoid NPCs, such as Albedo, Shaltir, Sabas, and other NPCs with humanoid appearances to follow him out of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Kindness. It's just that my shoulders are a little sore. Lin Yan turned his head and looked at Albedo, who was standing aside. Albedo is a beautiful girl in a pure white dress. She often has a faint smile on her face like a goddess, although she can't help but flash a blush when facing Lin Yan. Contrary to the pure white dress, Albedo has waist-length hair that is black and shiny, and can be said to be an impeccable peerless beauty. There are two curly longhorns like a goat on the side of the head, and a pair of pure black angel wings on the waist. Lin Yan was quite satisfied with Albedo, and said with a smile, "Albedo, if you have nothing to do, come over and give me a shoulder. By the way, I'm a little hungry. Shaltir, go get me some grapes and other fruits to eat." Lin Yan also did not forget another little loli who likes him, Shaltir. As the true ancestor of vampires, Shaltir's appearance is naturally not bad, with white skin and silver hair, which is also quite good. "Okay. Lord Lin Yan." After hearing Lin Yan's order, Albedo and Shaltir flushed with excitement. Of course, the sparks between Albedo and Shaltir's eyes could still be seen occasionally. Both of them liked Lin Yan, so naturally they were reluctant to give Lin Yan to each other. Mainly, Shaltir was still at a disadvantage, because Shaltir was even more envious of Albedo being able to massage Lin Yan and to be able to get in touch with Lin Yan in person. Maybe you can also pretend to accidentally touch Lin Yan's skin. Just thinking about it like that, Shaltir's jealousy towards Albedo will break through the sky. Lord Lin Yan. Actually, Shaltir is also very good at massage. Shaltir looked at Lin Yan with some anticipation and said shyly, "At least, Shaltir must be a little bit harder than Albedo's massage." What a joke! Lord Lin Yan, don't listen to Shaltir's nonsense. Seeing that Shaltir was going to grab her position as the leader of the massage, Albedo also had angry eyes, and said, "Albedo's massage technique is much better than Shaltir." The next picture is of course needless to say. Lin Yan was directly caught in the fight between the two peerless beauties. Of course, loyalty is the first and love is the second. In front of Lin Yan, the absolute boss, whether it is Albedo or Shaltir, they are all well behaved. Lin Yan didn't say anything, and there would never be any overstepping action. About half an hour later, the system started frantically swiping the screen to remind Lin Yan that Lin Yan had gained a reputation value ranging from 1 to 10. Ding! Congratulations to the host for being known by one person and gaining a little reputation. Ding! Congratulations to the host for being known by one person and gaining a little reputation. Ding! Congratulations to the host for being remembered by one person. Get 10 reputation points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for being known by one person and gaining a little reputation. Although the number of individual is not much, it is born in a small amount. In just a few minutes, Lin Yan's reputation point has suddenly changed from 1 to more than 3 million. System, 10,000 realms. Host, Lin Yan. Reputation, 354,785. Power, no. Territory, Kingdom of Heartfilia Royal City, PS, within the territory, immune to all damage. It's very comfortable. In such a short period of time, there have been more than 3 million reputation points. The back of Lin Yan's head rested on Albedo's fair knee. Looking at the system panel that was constantly swiping the screen, he chuckled and muttered to himself, "It seems that Anna is serious about giving me the notice." Performed well. System, spend 2.6 million reputation points to raise my level to LV100. Without any hesitation, Lin Yan directly chose to consume most of the prestige points and changed his level from LV0 to LV100, reaching the top of the power system of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Although 1 million reputation points can start to extract new forces, it can only extract the forces of the Black Iron level, and each time a 0 force level is added, it will go up 1 level. The lottery chance for the novice task reward is the guaranteed silver level, and there is no such thing as Black Iron and Bronze forces. Therefore, unless Lin Yan has a reputation of 100 million, or his personal strength has risen to the top, Lin Yan will not consider exchanging new powers for the time being. Chapter 7. With the end of the upgrade, Lin Yan can clearly feel that he has unprecedented power. Well, Lin Yan's novice protection period does not allow Lin Yan to understand what it feels like to have power, but it allows Lin Yan to use the corresponding moves. Just like controlling the characters in the game, you can use the skills by pressing the keyboard. After the level was exchanged, Lin Yan's reputation remained less than 1 million. To upgrade from LV100 to LV101 requires a full 1 million reputation points. As the host, Lin Yan can directly give himself a power that exceeds the existing power system by a whole level by relying on Krypton Gold. The Great Tomb of Nazarick belongs to the silver level forces, and the power system is kept at level 100. Then when Lin Yan upgrades the level from LV100 to LV, and then matches qualified equipment and corresponding skills, then Lin Yan is equivalent to having the power of the strong in the gold level forces. The power level is roughly divided into 7 powers: black iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, and the strongest. Lin Yan figured it out, exchanged for himself a full set of top-level world-class equipment, then filled up all the skills, and finally raised the level to LV, which would cost about 200 million. Thinking of this, Lin Yan shook his head and temporarily put aside the matter of upgrading to LV. Well, if it's only a grade, it's almost meaningless. In terms of equipment, although there is no top-level equipment in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, there are still a lot of next-level high-level equipment, so let's stack up the skills first. The world of Fairy Tail is a magical world, so it must be in line with the local customs. System, make an example of the magic exchange list. Because of her absolute loyalty, Lin Yan behaved more casually in the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Lin Yan started to browse the exchange list given by the system directly on Albedo's lap, while Albedo and Shaltir on the side were already flushed. It's just that Albedo was flushed with happiness, while Shaltir was flushed with jealousy. There was no other way, Albedo was more sensual, while Shaltir carried out little Loli's slenderness. The only proud bust was a fake breast, which was actually flat. In this way, Lin Yan rested leisurely for almost a whole day in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, and did not return to the palace of Heartfilia Kingdom until the next day. There was no way, whether it was Albedo or Shaltir, they were all too beautiful. The most important thing is that in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, the beauty is not only Albedo and Shaltir, but also the Pleiades. Except for the insect girls, the others are not very practical. Beauty ah! They are all top-notch beauties with their own flavors. After serving in this way, Lin Yan certainly didn't want to go to the chaotic world outside. If it wasn't for the feeling that she didn't go back, I'm afraid that Anna's side would be really anxious. Lin Yan actually planned to stay for a few more days. As soon as she returned to the palace, Anna, who had been in agony for a long time, came to the door. Looking at Albedo and Shaltir following Lin Yan, as well as the battle-maid Pleiades, Anna was slightly stunned. Now that Lin Yan has been announced as the king of Heartfilia Kingdom, Anna still recognizes her own identity and status, and hurriedly greeted Lin Yan with a big gift. After these royal rituals were over, Anna said with a worried expression, "Your Majesty. Where have you been? The dragon clan will come over tomorrow." Lin Yan didn't bubbling all day, which made Anna directly into a rather tangled state. After all, if it could have been a tenth of the population that would have declared the collapse of the country directly and decisively, then maybe even 1% of the population might not have survived. Okay, I see. Don't worry, you won't be disappointed. Lin Yan looked at Anna with a worried face and comforted, "The kingdom of Heartfilia is also a very important place to me, and I will never let him destroy it so easily." Lin Yan said this very sincerely. After all, Lin Yan can only be immune to damage in the royal city of the kingdom of Heartfilia. If the kingdom of Heartfilia is gone, then there is no such thing as immunity in the realm. Although Lin Yan has successfully drawn to the Great Tomb of Nazarick, his level has also been raised to level 100, and he has also successfully exchanged several super magic. However, Lin Yan, who has also watched Fairy Tail, knows that the combat system in Fairy Tail is not inferior to that of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, especially those dragon kings among the dragon races 400 years ago. Just one more terrible than the last. Lin Yan wanted to see which of the top powerhouses in the Great Tomb of Nazarick LV100 was stronger than the world's top biological dragon race in Fairy Tail. Chapter 8. In the original book, Fairy Tail has too little funding, so most of the fighting scenes are very hip. But in the actual setting, the big bosses in the later stages of Fairy Tail are more than one explosion. Although the Tomb of Nazarick is not bad, it really may not be able to crush the Fairy Tail world. Just in case, on the bright side, Lin Yan only brought the 6 battle maids, Albedo and Shaltir from the Pleiades star cluster. In fact, all the top powerhouses in the Great Tomb of Nazarick were taken by Lin Yan, including the most precious world-class equipment and world-class props. Once the dragons in the fairy tale world are too powerful, even if the LV-100 Albedo with world-class equipment and props can't win, then Lin Yan can only retreat. Lin Yan is still quite shy. The novice protection period has completely passed just now. Now, although Lin Yan has the LV-100 level of the power system of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, he has also exchanged a lot of super magic on the table, but after all, he is no longer invincible and immune to all damage. Kindness. Since Lin Yan had already said so, Anna could only reluctantly nodded. Before Lin Yan could continue to say anything, a guard outside the palace rushed in with an expression of unusual fear and panic. Your Majesty the princess. The big thing is bad, the border city was attacked by the dragons. Unlike Anna, who had been psychologically prepared for a long time, the guards who didn't know anything turned pale when they heard that the dragons attacked their country. Of course, even Anna's expression suddenly changed and it became ugly. The border city was attacked by the dragon clan. Anna's face was a little ugly. After all, the dragon clan originally said that it was tomorrow, but they didn't expect that they would attack the kingdom of Heartfilia before today was over. Instinctively, Anna wanted to say that the dragons were not trustworthy. But thinking of the human race in front of the dragon race, Anna could only sigh deeply in her heart. No one will tell the truth in front of toys and food. It's coming sooner than I thought. But it doesn't matter, it's almost the same today as tomorrow. Lin Yan also took a deep breath, and then let it out slowly, his eyes as deep as a black hole, faintly revealing a bit of brilliance. Your Majesty the King. I'll ask you to make a decision next. Anna looked at Lin Yan with a pleading expression on her face. The invasion of the dragons has already begun, and now the only one who can rely on is Lin Yan. Although it has been felt for a long time that Lin Yan is unlikely to be the opponent of the dragon clan, but it has already arrived at this time, and Anna does not know who else she can trust besides Lin Yan. Which direction is the town attacked by the dragons? After hearing Anna's words, Lin Yan nodded and looked at the pale guard. Even if Anna didn't say it, Lin Yan wouldn't let the dragon clan be presumptuous on their own territory. Of course, the premise is that Lin Yan can beat the opponent. In the north. Listen to the communication from the brothers over there, that dragon race is playing games with them. Win or lose, people will die, they've collapsed. Looking at Lin Yan, the guard said with some trepidation. The dragon clan over there does not stop any human behavior at all, so the attacked town can spread the news to the king city, just like Lin Yan and others are specially feared. When Anna next to him heard the guard's explanation, her face quickly turned from pale to red, and an uncontrollable anger appeared on her face. Not killing for starvation, just for fun. Interesting. Do you play games? Lin Yan nodded again, turned to look at Anna, and said with a smile, want to go and play games with the dragon clan. Be cautious, but Lin Yan is actually quite confident in the strength of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Forget the Black Dragon Aknologia and Ziref Dragneel, the ancestor of the Black Magician, and the god of another dimension. However, if it is just an ordinary dragon in the dragon family, Lin Yan felt that the Great Tomb of Nazarick would not be unable to handle it, and it was a silver-level force anyway. Kindness. Your Majesty, please take me with you. After hearing Lin Yan's question, Anna nodded earnestly, her eyes burning with unprecedented anger. This anger completely burned out Anna's fear of the dragon family. Very good. Then let's go together. Lin Yan turned his head to Albedo and said with a smile, Albedo, please. It is Albedo's supreme honor to be able to serve Lord Lin Yan. After hearing Lin Yan's words, Albedo hurriedly bowed to Lin Yan with a fanatical expression, then snapped her fingers and used magic teleportation. Then a space passage that leads directly to the northern border of the kingdom of Heartfilia was created by Albedo in an understatement. Let Anna beside her enter a new round of horror. Chapter 9. In the fairy tale world, although magic is relatively complete, it has indeed developed a lot of time. Time magic and space magic may be rare, but they are definitely not legends. However, to say that Albedo used such a stable and continuous space magic to be an understatement, even Anna had never heard of it, had never seen it before. The difference between instant use and continuous use is huge. Don't be in a daze. It's just a stable space transmission channel. Lin Yan looked at Anna, who was a little dazed, and laughed lightly, let's go. After finishing speaking, Lin Yan didn't wait for Anna to say anything, just took Albedo and the others to the space passage. When Anna heard Lin Yan's words, she suddenly came back to her senses. She quickly followed the footsteps of Lin Yan and others, passed through the space passage, and directly crossed the ever shorter distance to the border of the Kingdom of Heartfilia. Boom! The explosion sounded one after another, and the scorching breath rushed to the face. The sky was like a red blood donation, and there were roars, cries, and roars everywhere. It should have been a very beautiful city, but at this moment it has turned into a purgatory on earth. Most of the originally warm and beautiful houses have become ruins and a sea of fire. A lot of life died in this city. This. Anna looked at the scene in front of her and clasped her hands together tightly. Anna has heard about the terrible things about the dragons since she was a child, but now it is the first time she has seen a city attacked by the dragons with her own eyes. It's just a hell on earth. Or there are more people than I thought. It seems that this dragon is really playing a game and is not in a hurry to kill. Compared with Anna, Lin Yan's side is much more calm, and the NPC in the Great Tomb of Nazarick will not talk about it. Lin Yan himself has read the original book and has already prepared for it. Glancing at Sabas, the housekeeper who had been standing respectfully behind him, Lin Yan chuckled, however, I will be my citizen in the future. Sabas, you are good at helping people, I will teach you later. Already. The Pleiades is with Sabas. Albedo and Shaltir will go over there with me to check the situation. Lin Yan simply arranged it. If possible, Lin Yan doesn't want to cause too many meaningless casualties. After all, everyone can provide themselves with more than 100 reputation points. And it will be able to provide a little reputation value steadily every month. After finishing the arrangement, Lin Yan walked in the most lively direction. In fact, at this time, Lin Yan could already see the huge figure of the dragon in the distance. Ha ha ha, the game is over. You won this game, congratulations, you can choose the person who will die instead of your loved ones. A khaki-colored western dragon looked at the trembling little boy in front of him and laughed, don't worry, the earth dragon Baal Abe is the dragon that obeys the most credibility. I don't know. The little boy said with a look of fear when he looked at Baal, the dragon of the earth. At the age of 8, he didn't know what he should do at all, and he just managed to win the game by chance. Don't you know who to choose to die instead of your loved ones? It's really a headache. So, let me help you choose. What do you think about that little girl over there dying instead of your sister? The dragon of the earth, Baal Abe, looked at the little boy and said with a smile. The sharp and huge dragon claws pointed not far away, a little girl who looked very similar to the little boy's sister and looked very cute. I. Looking at the girl who was somewhat similar to his sister, and at his sister who was already scared to the extreme, the little boy's heart was full of entanglements. At a young age, he simply couldn't make a decision in such a situation. However, there is no need for a little boy to make a decision. What the earth dragon Baal Eber likes most is the dilemma of human beings. After a while, the earth dragon Baal Eber will kill all the two little girls. The reason is probably, I can't bear to see the little boy so entangled, so I just solved it all. This kind of thing, the dragon of the earth Baal Abe does not less, he likes to admire the expression of human collapse very much. In fact, there are not many people killed by the dragon of the earth, Baal, at least compared with his dragon friends, the dragon of the earth, Baal, has killed a few people. However, in terms of the cruelty of the means, the dragon of the earth, Baal Abe, is considered to be relatively top-notch. In fact, many dragon races don't like Baal Eber very well. As the little boy hesitated, the atmosphere gradually solidified, and everyone around looked at the scene in front of him numbly. At this moment, the arrival of Lin Yan, Albedo, and others attracted a wave of attention. Chapter 10. Earth Dragon Baal Eber. Looking at the Earth Dragon Baal Eber, Lin Yan just chuckled. After Lin Yan's level has been raised to LV100, his physical fitness has greatly increased in all directions. Even if he is separated by a long distance, he can still understand the words of the dragon of the earth, Baal Eber. Not to mention, the voice of this Baal Abbey was like thunder, not too small at all. Oh my god! It looks like a good new toy has entered the market. The dragon of the earth, Baal Abe, looked at Lin Yan and Albedo and the others behind Lin Yan and said with a smile, wrong, let me introduce myself first, the old man is. I know, your name is Baelber. Lin Yan interrupted the words of the earth dragon Baal Abe and asked with a smile, don't you know you are the Dragon King? Although Lin Yan felt that the low giant dragon in front of him should be a very ordinary giant dragon, it is better to be cautious and ask. The Dragon King is the strongest fighting force of the Dragon Clan. Lin Yan is really not sure whether the LV-100 NPC in the Great Tomb of Nazarick can win. Humanity. What makes you, like an ant, have such confidence? Dare to show such an arrogant attitude in front of our Dragon Clan? After hearing Lin Yan's words, the eyes of the Earth Dragon Baal Eber narrowed slightly, and directly brought his huge face in front of Lin Yan, and said, "Is it your human identity as a so-called sorcerer?" The Earth Dragon Baal Eber stared at this human being who made him feel unpleasant like never before. Although Lin Yan seemed to be speaking normally just now, Baal Eber could clearly feel the aloof feeling that Lin Yan faintly revealed from his bones. No, it's not as simple as just standing tall. The kind of indifference revealed from the soul was something Baal Eber had never felt before. It was as if he never thought of himself as something from the very beginning. There is absolutely no way to disguise this attitude as if it should be like this. Ah! Albedo, Shaltir. Lin Yan looked at the Earth Dragon Baal Abe who was in front of him and laughed. Did I act arrogant just now? Do not. Lord Lin Yan, this low-level creature has gone too far. After hearing Lin Yan's question, Albedo said with a serious face, and her eyes were full of killing intent when she looked at the Dragon of the Earth, Baal Abe. Just like the Earth Dragon Baal Abe was very dissatisfied with Lin Yan's attitude towards him, Albedo has also endured the Earth Dragon Baal Abe's arrogance towards Lin Yan for a long time. If it wasn't for Lin Yan's refusal to let go, Albedo would have rushed up to fight with the Earth Dragon Baal Abel. That's right. It's just a lizard all the time, how dare you talk to Lord Lin Yan like that? Shaltir also said with a smile behind Lin Yan, it's really courting death. Lord Lin Yan, Shaltir wants to drain its blood. Don't worry. We still need to test the strength level of this lizard. Lin Yan laughed lightly as she looked at Albedo and Shaltir who were already eager to try. Regardless of Lin Yan's relaxed and comfortable appearance in front of the Dragon of Earth, what the Dragon of Earth did not know was that just below this moment, all the members of the Great Tomb of Nazarick had already arrived. Once the strength of the Earth Dragon exceeds Lin Yan's imagination, then directly surround and kill it. After killing it, he ran away directly, and when he got up, he waited for the Dragon Clan to destroy himself before making waves. In order to be foolproof, Lin Yan even directly spent nearly 200,000 RP to exchange a special item from the system mall of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Private space. It can divide an area into the user's private space in a short time, and at the user's will, it can absolutely isolate the influence of the outside world on the interior, and vice versa. In this way, after the Dragon of the Earth is killed by himself, the probability of being discovered by the Dragon family will be reduced as much as possible. The big deal is to wait for 400 years, and then come out after the great prosperity of the human race. Anyway, Lin Yan's lifespan is now unlimited, and there is no such thing as normal old age and death. On the other side, the Earth Dragon Baal Abe looked at Lin Yan, Albedo and Shaltir who were ignoring him chatting with each other, and a violent blue vein began to appear on his forehead. The mere humans, the mere ants, dare to be so presumptuous. Originally, the old man was going to give you a chance to atone for your sins and please the old man. In this case, the old man may be happy, and he will spare you arrogant ants once. Now, the old man has changed his mind. The Earth Dragon looked at Lin Yan and the others and roared angrily, you ants have angered the old man, the only end is only one, only death. Boom. As the voice of the Dragon of the Earth fell, the whole world seemed to be buzzing at this moment. An unprecedented sense of oppression erupted from the Dragon of the Earth. Chapter 11. With repentance, let the old man die. The roar of the Dragon of the Earth. A cocky yellow beam of light with an aura of destruction came from the final gushing out of the Earth Dragon, gushing towards Lin Yan's location. In just an instant, it almost filled almost all of Lin Yan's field of vision. Boom! The unprecedented roar shot into the sky. It's just that no one can notice that when this sound reaches a certain range, it will disappear out of thin air, as if it didn't exist from the beginning. The huge smoke gradually dissipated. Seeing the scene after the smoke dissipated, the Earth Dragon's pupils shrank suddenly, and his face was full of disbelief. Lin Yan, Albedo, Shaltir, and others were all harmless. Stand still. The only difference was probably that Albedo had changed from the pure white dress just now to a different one, with the jet black armor covered in spikes covering her whole body, leaving no skin exposed. Wearing metal gloves with dark claws, a black kite shield in one hand, and a giant axe that emits green light in the other hand, wearing a blood-red cloak and blouse. Completed the transformation from goddess to Valkyrie in an instant. How is this possible? It's just a mere human being, how could it be possible to face the roar of my earth dragon, Baal Abe? The dragon of the earth knew very well how much power he had used just now. Not to mention that he went all out, but he used almost 70 to 80% of his power. Even the strongest wizards among human beings may not be able to take a roar from themselves without any damage. It's noisy. I've been talking to myself here since the very beginning. Hearing the roar of the earth dragon, Lin Yan snapped his fingers at the location of the earth dragon with an impatient face. Boom! It was just a seemingly insignificant snap of fingers that could no longer be trivial, but in the next instant, the ground where the dragon of the earth was located was shattered and collapsed quickly. It's as if there is a weight that even a giant dragon can't bear, all kinds of oppression on the dragon of the earth. Under Anna's horrified gaze, the dragon of the earth, which symbolizes invincibility, knelt down in front of Lin Yan with such ease. Cheat, cheat! The dragon is actually. Looking at the scene in front of her, Anna's face was full of disbelief. Is the giant dragon kneeling in front of Lin Yan really the same giant dragon that brought countless fear and despair to mankind? When did the dragon race become so weak? No, it's not that the dragon clan has become weaker, it's that the man in front of him is too strong. Anna looked at Lin Yan with a complicated expression. Yes, it looks much more comfortable now. I hate lizards like you who don't understand the situation the most. This is super magic limit gravity. No matter how powerful you are, the gravity attached to you is always a little more than your limit. Unless your hard power greatly exceeds mine, you can ignore some of the effects. However, if you are not even the Dragon King, how can you surpass me in hard power? Lin Yan looked at the dragon of the earth who was struggling desperately in front of him, but couldn't break free, and said with a smile, the dragon family is much weaker than I thought. Yes, damn it. It's just a mere human being. The earth dragon became crazy after hearing Lin Yan's sarcastic voice. Ignoring Lin Yan's explanation just now, he started a fierce confrontation with the pressure from the supermagic extreme gravity on his body. As a dragon clan, the earth dragon will never allow itself to be defeated by a mere human being. Albedo, evaluate the attack power just now. Lin Yan did not continue to pay attention to the earth dragon who was struggling frantically, but put her eyes on Albedo and asked with a smile, what is the level of Nazarick? Okay, Mr. Lin Yan. After hearing Lin Yan's order, Albedo immediately lowered her head and made a serious comparison. After all, Albedo had personally experienced the roar of the earth dragon just now. After a short while, Albedo raised her head again and said, it's probably equivalent to a level 80 character equipped with ordinary purple equipment. It may be slightly worse, fluctuating between levels 78 and 80. If there are still some hidden ultimate moves, the upper limit of the series can be rated at 82. As the existence in the Great Tomb of Nazarick that is second only to Demiurge in strategy, Albedo is quite reliable. Well, only when facing Lin Yan's feelings, there may be some perverted hobbies. For example, in Albedo's room in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, there are all kinds of dolls of Lin Yan, custom-made or life-size. LV80 with normal purple equipment. Lin Yan nodded thoughtfully after hearing Albedo's words. In this case, even if it is the Dragon King of the Dragon Clan, it is estimated that it is the existence of LV90, and it is still wearing some kind of ordinary purple equipment. At most, it is LV95, which cannot be higher. Chapter 12. In the combat power system of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, the gap between LV95 and LV80 with the same equipment is definitely not smaller than the gap between ordinary dragons and Dragon Kings. Of course, the Dragon King is also estimated to be strong and weak. For the Fire Dragon King, Lin Yan should be regarded as a LV100 full purple character. Albedo is a LV100 existence with a full-body divine outfit. And he also has world-class equipment that surpasses the divine equipment. Equipment levels of the Great Tomb of Nazarick: White Whiteboard, Green Excellent, Blue Elite, Purple Rare, Gold Legend, Dark Gold Epic, Colorful Myth and Black World. Thinking about it this way, Lin Yan suddenly felt that after owning the Great Tomb of Nazarick, he was a powerful and almost invincible existence in the fairy tale world. The only thing that worries Lin Yan is probably the two strongest bosses in the original book, Zirav, the ancestor of the Black Mage, and Aknologia, the Black Dragon. However, even so, Lin Yan still forcibly suppressed his swollen heart. There may not be as many high-level figures in the Great Tomb of Nazarick as there are in the dragon race. The top-level strength should be that of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, but in terms of the strength of the middle class, I am afraid that the dragon clan is more terrifying. You must know that once the dragons become adults, they almost have the strength between LV75 LV80. As for the Great Tomb of Nazarick, with such a level of combat power, it looks like there are less than 100. Compared with the over 10,000 dragon clan, it is still a bit far behind. If it is now against the dragon clan, the final result of the Great Tomb of Nazarick may be a lose-lose with the dragon clan, and the LV100 level characters may be eliminated by the huge number of the dragon clan. Okay, I already know the data. Lin Yan glanced again at the earth dragon who was still struggling, and said lightly, "You are useless." As the voice fell, the gravity on the earth dragon increased exponentially. From the beginning, Lin Yan didn't have to use all his strength. At this moment, even in the interior of the city, a violent vibration can be felt. And those who are close to it can see an unprecedented and extremely terrifying scene, the incomparable dragon. The dragon sinks directly into the ground. And as the giant dragon sinks into the ground, the sound of dense bones shattering like crackling can be heard from the dragon's body. The battle between humans and giant dragons has been going on for many years, and humans have always been the side that suffered crushing defeats. Perhaps the reason why humans can get such a preference from the dragon race is precisely because of the human spirit that will not admit defeat no matter what, so there is a scene where the dragon race prefers humans. In this way, in the dazed gaze of everyone, the earth dragon Baal Eber was completely silent. Is that the end of it? Looking at the scene in front of her, Anna was very confused and muttered to herself. Anna really didn't expect that this disaster that forced her to have no way to go to the sky would end so easily, and it was solved easily by Lin Yan. Of course it ends like that. Okay, don't forget to promote my heroic slaying the dragon and saving everyone's record. Lin Yan looked at Anna who was still in a daze, and smiled and patted Anna's little head, and said, "That's it, I'll go back to the royal city first, you stay with Sabas to appease the people." Concealing news is concealing news, and propaganda must still be propaganda. After all, this is one of the important sources for Lin Yan to gain reputation. If he can hide from the dragons for a while, he will hide it for a while. Now Lin Yan's reputation is almost gone, and it still needs a wave of replenishment. The 1,000 or so individuals who saw the dragon being killed by Lin Yan just now contributed nearly 100,000 reputation points to Lin Yan at one time. It's still a long way off. Lin Yan had to gain as much power as possible. Anyway, as long as the dragon clan is not a one-time stud, and the whole clan goes to the highland, then Lin Yan can still cover it. After all, when it comes to the top powerhouse, there is still more to the Great Tomb of Nazarick. The further the level is, the more terrifying the gap is. When the dragon clan really finds something wrong and prepares the whole clan to play stud, perhaps Lin Yan's side can already drop the hammer dragon clan with one hand. Hey? Oh. I see, Your Majesty. After hearing Lin Yan's words, Anna was stunned for a moment, then nodded obediently and said, "I will try my best to publicize your heroic figure, Your Majesty. Your Majesty's deeds of killing the dragons will surely bring blessings to the world." Nice. That's it, I'll go first. Lin Yan nodded, did not say anything more, and directly returned to the Great Tomb of Nazarick under the heart of the royal city of Heartfilia through the space channel of Albedo. Next, Lin Yan still has a lot of things to arrange. After all, the population of Heartfilia Kingdom is really a little smaller. Chapter 13. Demiurge. Sitting on the throne in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, Lin Yan enjoyed the service of Albedo and Shaltir, and said with a chuckle, "I told you about your affairs, how are you doing? Subordinates are here. Lin Yan, I have a general understanding of the operation system of human society." After hearing Lin Yan's question, Demiurge said with a respectful face, "This subordinate is sure to expand the kingdom of Heartfilia without harming human life too much." As one of the few intellectual characters in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, Lin Yan naturally wants to make the most of everything. Although Albedo's intelligence is not low, but because of the relationship between the personality setting, it will become easy to make mistakes, so some big things, Lin Yan is going to leave it to Demiurge to do. As for the leader Momanga, thought is an ordinary person, Lin Yan let him wander freely. In fact, there are not many things that the empty squirrel can help Lin Yan, that is, it plays a role of supervision in the absence of Lin Yan. Can it expand with confidence without unduly harming human life? After hearing Demiurge's words, Lin Yan nodded thoughtfully and said, it's impossible not to hurt anyone at all, so let's do it. Demiurge, it's up to you to assist Anna Heartfilia, Princess of Heartfilia Kingdom. Leading Anna without going against my ultimate purpose. Lin Yan made arrangements for Demiurge, an intellectual talent. The reason why Demiurge is not allowed to dominate is because Demiurge lacks some human touch. Although he is unusually loyal to Lin Yan, it is limited to Lin Yan. Demiurge was very contemptuous of other humans and non-members of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. This kind of contempt is almost a habit of most members of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Therefore, it is still necessary to take the lead from Anna's side, otherwise Lin Yan feels that the final result may deviate from his expectations. I see. My subordinates will be led by Princess Anna without going against the wishes of Lord Lin Yan. After hearing Lin Yan's words, Demiurge was stunned for a moment, and then his face showed a sudden realization, and he said in admiration, as expected of Mr. Lin Yan, he noticed the loophole in my plan. If it is according to Lin Yan's idea, then the original plan with a little loophole will become perfect. My subordinates didn't help Mr. Lin Yan, but I need Mr. Lin Yan to give some advice. I'm really ashamed. At this moment, 3 question marks suddenly appeared on Lin Yan's head, who was enjoying the services of Albedo and Shaltir. Did I say something important just now? What do you understand? Why don't I understand at all? Lin Yan recalled the fear of being dominated by the thinking gradually diverted emoji when he was visiting Taiba. I don't know why, but Lin Yan always has a feeling that no matter how much he gets vaccinated, things seem to go in the direction he expects. The other extreme development. Well, it's fine if you understand. When the time comes to act, remember to ask Anna's opinion a lot, do you know? Although he didn't know what Demiurge knew about him, Lin Yan still showed the expression of you understand very decisively. All in all, this time the dragon attack has come to an end with the end of the Dragon of the Earth. Because Lin Yan's initial preparations were not bad, the news that another dragon was defeated by a human wizard was only limited to a small range of human beings. Most people don't believe that someone can defeat the dragon, the symbol of invincibility. The impression of the dragon clan's invincibility is so profound that even if a dragon is really killed by humans, humans themselves consider it a false rumor. Even the dragons heard it by chance and thought it was a nonsense like a human dream. But even if it's just that, just relying on the spontaneous propaganda of more than 1,000 witnesses, Lin Yan has also increased his reputation by nearly 1 million in a short period of time. Many people know Lin Yan's name. However, at most this is the case. This era is too chaotic. Unless there is really no way, most people will not leave their city too far away. Originally, things should have ended here. Dragons have a lifespan of thousands of years. It is normal for them not to contact each other for several years or even decades. According to normal circumstances, Lin Yan can grow up and develop a wave. Unfortunately, Demiurge saw through Lin Yan's true intentions. While Lin Yan was enjoying a good life, a rumor began to spread around the kingdom of Heartfilia at a very rapid rate. The following is the specific content of the rumors. The kingdom of Heartfilia has gained the friendship of the earth dragon Baal-eb. This will be the second kingdom to be guarded by giant dragons after the dragon-friendly kingdom Dragonov. Chapter 14. Compared with the first message that Lin Yan killed the dragon of the earth, it is very obvious that this second rumor is more believable. A drizzle of rain fell from the gloomy sky. In a place not too far from the kingdom of Heartfilia, a group of people who were like corpses were slowly moving numbly in one direction. A boy with brown skin was following the crowd in confusion. Maybe it was because he disliked the little boy for walking too slowly, and a man behind the little boy just kicked the little boy away. You bastard, if you don't want to go, let me die. Get out of Laozi's way. This man, who seemed to be very kind, had an unusually hideous and distorted expression at this moment. Things like this happen from time to time in this huge group of people who have lost their homes under the attack of giant dragons. With the country destroyed, no one wants to accept them. Because there are so many things like this that happen every day, no one would want to accept them, because doing so might attract the attention of the dragon race, and thus cause unwarranted disasters. The only thing people who have destroyed their homes can do is to move towards the only paradise in the world, the dragon-friendly kingdom of Dragonov. Only the kingdom of Dragonov, with the guardianship of the dragon race, can receive these refugees whose homes have been destroyed. Even if, in the end, there is no one out of 10 who can or come to the kingdom of Dragonov. And this group of people was originally very insignificant, even if sad things were happening here all the time. However, I don't know when it started, a rumor still spread among the crowd. Hey, did you know? It seems that there is another kingdom guarded by giant dragons. Night. Not far from the brown-skinned boy, two thin men were discussing. Real or fake? Apart from the Dragonov kingdom, are there other kingdoms that can be guarded by giant dragons? One of the men said suspiciously. Among the dragons, there are indeed some dragons who have a very good relationship with humans, and are even willing to protect some humans, but the dragons who are willing to protect an entire country are still rare. For so many years, only the kingdom of Dragonov has been guarded by the dragon race. It is also officially because of this that the kingdom of Dragonov has risen rapidly. In less than 100 years, it has quickly become the most powerful country in the world. Even if it's fake, don't you want to go? Do you think we can really come to Dragonov, the pro-dragon kingdom alive? Another man was a little pessimistic. In fact, this is indeed the case. Don't look at the sad things that happen to this team every day, but this is just the beginning. They traveled 30 miles at most. Anyway, this man is very clear that he may be able to live a little longer than children and old people, but he will definitely not be able to make it to the dragon-friendly kingdom of Dragonov. Instead, it's better to go to the recently rumored kingdom of Heartfilia. What if the kingdom of Heartfilia is really guarded by a giant dragon? The kingdom of Heartfilia. Then decided, go to Heartfilia. The brown-skinned boy glanced at the two men who were discussing not far away, and then slowly closed his eyes, having made a new decision in his heart. Brown-skinned boys became the first to venture to the kingdom of Heartfilia. Once the failure is expelled from the kingdom of Heartfilia, the final result is naturally needless to say. Pro-Dragon Kingdom, Dragonov. A girl with crimson hair stood on the city wall, looking at the bustling crowd under the city wall. If Lin Yan was here at this time, she would subconsciously recognize this girl as one of the very important female characters in the original book, the fairy queen Urza Scarlet. This is the princess of the Dragon Kingdom Dragonov, the future queen, Irene Dragonov. In the original book, after the closest dragon Belzarian died in battle and was betrayed by the country he had always guarded, Irene Dragonov would become Irene Belzarian. Belzarian. Do you think the rumor that has spread recently is true? Looking at the thriving scene in front of me, Irene muttered to herself, is there really a kingdom under the protection of the dragon again? If it's true, then that would be great. There will be more shelter for people, and Dragonov has no room for more refugees. If possible, Irene really sincerely hopes that there will be another dragon in this world that loves humans like Belzarian. Chapter 15. Earth Dragon Baal Eber is not a guy who likes humans. No, maybe it's supposed to like humans, but it's definitely not what you think Irene likes. If it really is, it's definitely not a good thing for humans. After Belzarian heard Irene's words, he replied from the depths of Irene's heart. Because the dragon's body is too large and inconvenient to move, Belzarian usually uses Irene's original additional magic to attach it to Irene's heart. Belzarian still knows something about the reputation of the dragon of the earth, Balber, of his fellow clan, and is notorious for his fondness for teasing humans. Is that so? Was it a lie from the beginning? After hearing Belzarian's words, Irene's eyes flickered a little, and said softly, it's really too bad. Belzarian, can you help me? Help me change this cruel world. The next thing will naturally become simpler. Because the rumor that Heartfilia Kingdom is the second pro-dragon kingdom continues to spread, countless people who have destroyed their homes began to gather here in Heartfilia. In less than a month, the total population of Heartfilia Kingdom has doubled several times, approaching tens of millions of people, if not for the help of the great tomb of Nazarick. Perhaps the kingdom of Heartfilia has long been overwhelmed, and its self-confidence has collapsed because of the excessive population. But now, under the arrangement of Demiurge, the entire Heartfilia kingdom is thriving, and everyone is living and working in peace and happiness. And the most interesting thing is that when this rumor spread to the Dragon Clan, the giant dragons on the Dragon Clan also looked at each other and smiled, so they really didn't bother the humans who ran to the kingdom of Heartfilia. Because everyone knows the character of the Earth Dragon Balber very well, no matter how you think about it, it is impossible to be a dragon family that is really close to humans like Belzarian. All the dragons felt that the Earth Dragon Baal Abe must be playing some tricks with humans, because the long life seems a little boring, but the dragons are willing to cooperate with Baal Abe. So it was inexplicable that the Dragon Clan in Heartfilia Kingdom actually maintained a very delicate balance, which really made the untenable lie come true. Demiurge. Seeing his reputation value skyrocketing all the time, Lin Yan smiled and nodded when he saw Demiurge. Good job. Kindness. Your Majesty, Demiurge is really amazing. Anna stood beside Lin Yan and said excitedly, originally, our Heartfilia kingdom can only accept an additional 100,000 refugees at most. With the help of Demiurge, nearly 10 million refugees have been received. And, with our current ability to withstand pressure, we can still recruit 10 million more refugees. Demiurge is indeed an intellectual talent. In just 1 month, Anna, who has been learning management experience since childhood, has been completely convinced, and her ability is indeed explosive and powerful. A small country with a population of less than 1 million has received nearly 10 million refugees without any pressure. Thanks to Lord Lin Yan for pointing it out. My subordinates just tried to implement Lin Yan's idea as much as possible. After Demiurge heard what Lin Yan and Anna said, he stood aside and said with a smile. To be honest, if Demiurge's words were replaced by anyone, it would give people a very wrong feeling, the most inferior way of bragging about himself. However, this was different when it came to Demiurge. Because Demiurge really felt that way. It can be said that Demiurge is Lin Yan's most faithful licking dog. Well, it's executed well. The next thing will be discussed with Anna according to your understanding. Lin Yan looked at Demiurge, who looked at him with admiration, the corner of his mouth pulled out a little, and he said vaguely, I'm still very satisfied with your work. Although I always feel that the process of things and my own expectations will cause a huge deviation due to Demiurge's overinterpretation of himself. But at least the current development makes Lin Yan very satisfied. In the past month, Lin Yan's reputation has grown wildly every day because of the constant presence of Heartfilia Kingdom. Up to now, Lin Yan's reputation value has reached more than 30 million, and many people's impression of Lin Yan is only limited to knowing the name. It can be said that with a little operation, Lin Yan's reputation can reach 100 million, and he can directly extract the forces of 10,000 realms again, and extract a silver force of the same level as the Great Tomb of Nazarick. At that time, Lin Yan, who holds 2 silver powers, has the qualification to officially challenge the Dragon Clan, and even without the Black Dragon Acknowledger, Lin Yan himself can destroy the Dragon Clan. Chapter 16. But, no matter what, rumors are rumors after all. All dragons are quietly waiting for the situation on the side of Heartfilia Kingdom. They all want to see what tricks Baal, the Dragon of the Earth, is playing here, or in other words, what new tricks Baal, the Dragon of the Earth, has played. Time flies, almost 2 months, and finally the dragons are a little impatient. Several giant dragons appeared in the sky above King Heartfilia King City. The head is a giant dragon with the color of earth and sand, and it can bring the animation sky yellow sand when it is flying, which is extremely terrifying. Dragon, here comes the dragon. Help, Princess Anna, Your Majesty Lin Yan. In the city of King Heartfilia, countless citizens were frightened for a while after seeing several giant dragons hovering in the sky. Crying frantically for help, he ran in the opposite direction of where the dragons were. Many people have already been destroyed by the Dragon Clan once. For the Dragon Clan, their instinct is to be very disgusted and fearful. I am Sharon Aurelia. Where's Baal, the Dragon of the Earth? In the sky, Sharon Aurelian's thunder-like voice came. Sharon Aurelia watched with interest the humans running around like ants in the city. Perhaps it was because the kingdom of Heartfilia was a toy favored by the Earth Dragon Baal Eber, Sharon Aurelia did not immediately attack the kingdom of Heartfilia. Instead, he slowly landed from the sky and began to call the Dragon of the Earth, Baal Eber. Sharon Aurelia is an impatient person. After waiting for a few months, he couldn't help but approach the door. He wanted to see what medicine was sold in the gourd of Baal Eber, the Dragon of the Earth. After not showing up for such a long time, the kingdom of Heartfilia has always shown a thriving scene, and it completely makes it impossible to understand what the Earth Dragon Baal Abe wants to do. It's impossible to become the patron saint of human beings like Belzarian. The fact that there is a giant dragon to protect human beings has already made many dragons dissatisfied. If the Earth Dragon Baalber is also the same as the Holy Dragon Belzarian, it will be really messed up. No one has ever thought about the fact that the Dragon of the Earth, Baal Eber, may have been killed. Following Sharon Aurelia's actions, the other dragons behind him descended. Even if there is no deliberate destruction of the buildings in the city, at this moment, a large area of King Heartfilia's King City has become a ruin. I don't know how many humans are crying in the ruins. In this regard, Sharon Aurelia and other giant dragons didn't care too much. The death of a few ants was nothing more than the death of a few ants. With such a little damage to the toys, the Earth Dragon Baal Eber would not care too much. But what made Sharon Aurelia a little curious was that there were actually several humans walking towards his position. Normally, few humans would dare to walk towards Sharon Aurelia. Thinking of this, Sharon Aurelia was not in a hurry, and stood quietly waiting for the arrival of these humans. Needless to say, the identities of these human beings are a group of people headed by Lin Yan. It's a real headache. It used to be a very valuable business district. When these dragons arrived, Lin Yan had already arrived at the scene. Looking at the bustling street just now, Lin Yan shook his head and sighed, it will cost a lot of money to rebuild it. Although many people were wailing, those who might actually die were arranged by Lin Yan to be taken away at one time before the disaster struck. These are all important sources of reputation for Lin Yan, so Lin Yan naturally couldn't let these people be killed by the dragons so easily. And, where's Baal Abe? Call Bar Alb to me. Sharon Aurelia looked at Lin Yan who was standing not far in front of him, his eyes narrowed slightly. Considering the reason why he didn't want to fall out with the Earth Dragon Baal Abe for the time being, Sharon Aurelia didn't do anything to Lin Yan. It's just that before Sharon Aurelia and the others continue to say what they can say, a force of force measure pushes them deeply into the ground, unable to move. Boom! Under the struggle of several dragons, the ground cracked quickly, like a spider web, rapidly spreading towards him. If you have good ears, you can vaguely hear the sound of bones breaking apart from the bodies of these giant dragons. In the face of this terrifying gravity, even the dragon family can't bear it. Roar! Bastard, what's going on? Facing this unprecedented gravity, Sharon Aurelia struggled with bulging eyes and roared frantically. It had no idea what was going on right now. With the roar, Sharon Aurelia directly caused a monstrous wave made of sand, which swept toward the kingdom of Heartfilia like a tsunami. However, before everyone could feel despair in their hearts, a black afterimage flashed. In a straight line, he came to the front of Sharon Aurelia in an instant, and threw a punch. Chapter 17. Boom! If his eyesight was good enough, he could vaguely see a shock wave visible to the naked eye rushing out from Sharon Aurelia's abdomen. Boom! Sharon Aurelia was shot out of thin air and crashed into the city wall of the kingdom of Heartfilia. Just a little bit worse than me. An old man in a black suit who looked like a gentleman shook his hand and said, "It's really dangerous." This is the butler of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, one of the 4 characters who are best at hand-to-hand combat in the Great Tomb of Nazarick, and his hand-to-hand combat ability is even stronger than Cositus and Albedo. The relationship with Demiurge is not very good, because the character belongs to the relationship of Justice plus 300, and is one of the leaders designated by Lin Yan in the human world. It is one of the few people in the Great Tomb of Nazarick who is slightly close to humans. However, when I saw the ugliness exposed by human nature, I still felt that maybe the friends in the Great Tomb of Nazarick were right, and the outsiders were simply not good enough. Lord Lin Yan. After knocking Sharon Aurelia flying, Sabas hurriedly walked over to Lin Yan and knelt down. "I'm really sorry for disturbing you." "It's okay. I felt a little bored." Lin Yan waved at Sabas and smiled, "It's good to have some fun now." "Asshole! You damn ants!" Sharon Aurelia reluctantly got up from the ruins of the city wall. More than half of the skin on the abdomen is directly cracked. Even if the dragon family has a strong resilience, I am afraid that there is no way to recover for a while. Don't look at Sabas's appearance as a human, but Sabas is actually a genuine dragon blood, a powerful group. In terms of blood, ordinary dragons are not necessarily comparable to Sabas. Not bad. I was able to stand up after a punch from Sabas. Lin Yan looked at Sharon Aurelia, who was forcing himself to stand up, and said with a little surprise, "I think, if it was the dragon of the earth, I'm afraid I'd just rush to the street." Because of the reason Sabas attacked Sharon Aurelia just now, Lin Yan temporarily cancelled the supermagic extreme gravity effect for the visual effect. Otherwise, Sharon Aurelia's position would not even be moved. Lin Yan, who is now in a divine costume, is invincible with LV100 level and super magic. Except for those dragon kings in the dragon clan who may be a little bit resistant to Lin Yan, it is almost impossible for other dragon clan to resist Lin Yan's super magic. Now that the number can't keep up, I'm afraid that the Great Tomb of Nazarick will be replaced by the dragon clan with a huge amount. After all, the dragon clan's lowest level is LV78-80, which is still very strong. After all, the Great Tomb of Nazarick is a force in the game. There are not many backbone equipment and characters, and the powerful equipment is piled up for the top characters. Overall, Lin Yan was quite satisfied with the results. Now the royal city of Heartfilia Kingdom is in the process of continuous expansion, and the permanent population is close to 1 million. Lin Yan's operation just now directly caused Lin Yan's reputation to skyrocket again by 10 million. In addition to the RP income from the previous 2 months, Lin Yan has reached 80 million RP. With only 20 million reputation points, Lin Yan can once again draw silver level forces. Damn ants, what do you mean? Where's Baal, the dragon of the earth? Lin Yan's words made Sharon Aurelia suddenly have a very bad feeling in his heart. If the news that the Earth Dragon Baal Abe is guarding the kingdom of Heartfilia is false, what about the Earth Dragon Baal Abe? During this time, many dragons sent private messages to Baal, the dragon of the earth, but they did not get a reply. Originally, the giant dragons in the dragon family thought that the Earth Dragon Baal Abe wanted to play mystery, but now listening to Lin Yan's words, I am afraid that the Earth Dragon Baal Abe has some accidents. Of course the dragon of the earth, Baal Abe, was buried by me. After Lin Yan heard Sharon Aurelia's words, he said with a smile, there is not even a bit of meat on the body, it's all dirt, otherwise it might be roasted and eaten. Asshole! How dare you be so outspoken in front of our dragon clan? Sharon Aurelia's veins throbbed violently, roaring wildly at Lin Yan. Even though Lin Yan has now shown a very terrifying ability, Sharon Aurelia still cannot accept that the dragons will die at the hands of humans. Although Irene had created additional magic during this period, she had not yet created dragon-slaying magic. In this era, there is a saying that only dragons can kill dragons. Ants. I don't know what you are lying on your stomach like a dog in front of me. Lin Yan poked out his ears, chuckled lightly, and said, Sabas. As ordered. Lord Lin Yan. After hearing Lin Yan's words, Sabas bowed to Lin Yan, put his eyes on Sharon Aurelia, and threw a punch. Boom! 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 A straight line was cleared in the outskirts of the kingdom of Heartfilia, and all the trees Lin Yan stone on the way were hit and shattered by Sharon Aurelia. Chapter 18. Asshole! 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 The old man is going to tear you apart today. The successive blows completely put Sharon Aurelia into a state of rage. Under the state of rage, Sharon Aurelia even ignored the heavy damage to her body and entered a state of radiance. Sharon's punch. Sharon Aurelia looked at the position where Sabas was clenching his dragon claws into fists, his huge wings slammed and flew towards Sabas. Regarding Sharon Aurelia's actions, Sabas didn't do anything to evade, just stood in place and put on a prepared posture, ready to meet Sharon Aurelia. It's an unpretentious name. No, the most important thing is that he actually read it out loud. Lin Yan on the side heard Sharon Aurelia's roar, and then he scratched his ears again, and said with a chuckle, I always thought this was the only way to explain the name of the move in the anime. I didn't expect it to actually shout out. It may be because the dragons are too powerful, so the dragons do not study all kinds of magic like humans do, but rely on their own bodies to fight. As the original protagonist Natsu often shouted a few low to explosive combat moves. In this way, along with Lin Yan's complaints, in the eyes of other people, Sharon Aurelia, whose size gap was like a mouse and elephant, and Sabas' fists slammed together. Time and space seemed to stop at this moment. I don't know how much time has passed, but at the center where Sabas' fist and Sharon Aurelia's dragon claws meet, there are obvious ripples appearing in circles. Boom! It didn't give anyone any time to react at all. The huge air pressure was attacking in all directions, and all the buildings that were still in good condition collapsed in an instant and became ruins. Accompanied by a loud quake and the sound of bones shattering, Sharon Aurelia's dragon claws were directly smashed by Sabas, and the terrifying strength even knocked Sharon Aurelia's entire arm to tear. What? Amidst the shrill screams of Sharon Aurelia, Sabas rushed out with great strides and punched again, hitting Sharon Aurelia's chest. Without any accident, Sharon Aurelia was instantly blasted through by Sabas. The gap between the LV-100 full god costume and the LV-80 full purple costume is really too big, to the point of despair. From beginning to end, Sabas didn't use even a single skill, and only used basic attacks. Aurelia! Humble ants, how dare you! On the other side, the giant dragons, who had been restrained by Lin Yan's supermagic extreme gravity from beginning to end and couldn't move, all roared furiously after seeing this scene. But now they can't do anything. In front of Lin Yan, they even need to use all their strength to roar. Did the dragon clan die in such an understatement? Haha, I didn't expect that the dragon race that swept the world would be so easy. Not far away, a brown-skinned boy looked at the scene in front of him, his pupils contracted sharply. Having witnessed his hometown being destroyed by a giant dragon, he had no room for resistance. He never thought that one day the dragon race would be so powerless in front of humans. It's not just the brown-skinned boy who thinks this way. You must know that more than 90% of the population of Heartfilia Kingdom is wandering from the outside world. Everyone has experienced the fear of their hometown being destroyed by the dragon race. They never imagined that one day humans would be able to make such a powerful counterattack in the face of the dragon's attack. Looking at the giant dragons lying like dogs in front of Lin Yan, they couldn't help but shed tears. The human race has risen. Lin Yan's RP has once again increased by almost 5 million, but that's what happened in a short period of time. After all, there are only so many people in the king city of Heartfilia. If you want to continue to grow, you need to wait quietly for things to spread. But soon. Lin Yan looked at the reputation value that was very close to 90 million on the system panel, and the corners of his mouth were slightly upturned. Although it was different from what I imagined, Demiurge was really nice. Originally, Lin Yan felt that it would take at least a year to get 100 million RP to summon new silver level forces again. As a result, this season had not yet passed, so Demiurge gave it to himself. Almost done. Okay, I'll go back first. Sabas, I'll leave the rest to you. After feeling that there was nothing to do, Lin Yan directly increased the output of the super magic limit gravity, directly crushed all the remaining dragons, and returned to the great tomb of Nazarick. Lin Yan felt that the tomb of Nazarick with modern facilities made him more comfortable. Subordinates obey. Sabas leaned slightly towards the position where Lin Yan disappeared. Just when Sabas was about to have someone come over to deal with the scene, the movement behind him made Sabas measure his head slightly, and a little brown-skinned boy walked over cautiously. Hello. My name is Acknowledge. Can you teach me how to become as strong as you? Chapter 19. Acknowledge has been in the kingdom of Heartfilia for some time. It can be said that they were the first refugees from the Heartfilia kingdom, so Acknowledge appeared in the royal city of Heartfilia Kingdom. In the original book, Acknowledge successfully came to the kingdom of Dragonov, and finally became the first group of magicians to practice dragon-killing magic after Irene studied dragon-killing magic. Now because of Lin Yan's arrival, the Heartfilia Kingdom has not only not been destroyed by the dragons, but has spread a great reputation. Acknowledge does not know that he can reach the Dragonov Kingdom alive. So the final result is naturally needless to say. For the purpose of survival, Acknowledge changed its initial route and came to the closer kingdom of Heartfilia. After survival was assured, Acknowledge began to think about how to avenge the dragons. Acknowledge, who bears a deep hatred in the sea of blood, is not going to spend her life in such an ordinary life. Acknowledge wants to avenge the dragons, otherwise Acknowledge will not be reconciled to death. Cannot. Sabas glanced at Acknowledge and frowned slightly. Sabas could clearly see the hatred in Acknowledge's eyes. Because there was something Lin Yan explained in his hand, Sabas refused Acknowledge without thinking, and started to contact people to deal with the messy scene. Acknowledge did not continue to tangle, but continued to quietly watch Sabas from the side. It was only 3 days before the attack of Sharon Aurelia. The news of Earth Dragon Balber, Sharon Aurelia, and several other dragons united to protect the kingdom of Heartfilia spread like crazy. Demiurge polished the rumors a little, and Lin Yan's reputation began to skyrocket wildly. The most terrifying thing is that this kind of rumor obviously cannot stand scrutiny. However, because the Dragon Clan did not think that there were other races in this world that could defeat them, there were actually many dragons in the Dragon Clan who believed in Demiurge's words. Many giant dragons have already begun to be dissatisfied with several dragons such as the Dragon of the Earth and Sharon. I feel that they have tarnished the proud and noble identity of the Dragon Clan. Of course, there are also some dragons who think that it may be that the Dragon of the Earth and Sharon have found something very interesting to pass the time. There are even many dragons ready to come to Heartfilia Kingdom to see, what is it about Heartfilia Kingdom that attracts the dragons of the Earth and Sharon. It's just that most of the giant dragons are still in a wait-and-see state because they haven't received any reply to the private messages sent to the Dragon of the Earth and the Sharon. Or rather, the feeling of being a little angry. It's almost like if you don't reply to my messages, I don't pay attention to you. The reason for this misunderstanding is entirely because no giant dragon can think about whether the Earth Dragon, Sharon, and several other giant dragons may have died. At the same time, Lin Yan's side was ready to start drawing the second silver level power. After just 3 days of crazy fermentation, Lin Yan's reputation value finally exceeded 100 million, reaching about 120 million. System: spend 100 million reputation to extract silver level forces. Ding! Start extracting silver level forces. Following Lin Yan's decision, a rapidly spinning roulette wheel appeared in Lin Yan's mind, and it quickly settled down. Death, 10 blades of broken faces. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the 10 swords of the silver level power in the world of death. The forces of 10,000 realms, 10 blades breaking the face. Leader: Aizen Sosuke, no collapsed jade status, you can consume reputation points to open the collapsed jade status. 10 blades, Koyatai Stark, Balagon Ruizumban, Tia Halabel. Compared with the Great Tomb of Nazarick, it is very obvious that the introduction of the 10 blades of the broken face is very simple, and the leader Aizen Sosuke, there are only 11 people in total. However, each of these 11 people is a top powerhouse. Especially Aizen Sosuke, the system introduced that if the collapsed jade state is turned on, he will directly become a strong person in the gold level force, or the top one, but it will cost a little money. It takes 500 million prestige points to enable Aizen Sosuke to open the collapsed jade state. After taking a brief glance, Lin Yan chose to summon the 10 blades of broken face at the Great Tomb of Nazarick because he was absolutely loyal to himself, including the very scheming Aizen Sosuke. Following Lin Yan's call, a total of 11 people, led by Aizen Sosuke, appeared in front of Lin Yan. The moment they saw Lin Yan, everyone, including Aizen Sosuke, all knelt down neatly. Lord Lin Yan. Chapter 20. Nice. Looking at the respectful half-kneeling crowd, Lin Yan nodded with great satisfaction and said, "Get up. Demiurge, take them to test the strength level first." Although Lin Yan has also seen God of Death, and knows that the 10 blades with broken face can be said to be quite the existence of cows, it is better to test the strength level well. And with the 10 blades, Lin Yan doesn't need to be too low-key. Even though the kingdom of Heartfilia seems to be very hot right now, hundreds of thousands of people escape every day, but from the beginning to the end, the Great Tomb of Nazarick has not done much. It is because if there is only the Great Tomb of Nazarick alone, it may not be able to face the entire dragon clan. 11 top-level powerhouses are enough to slaughter most of the ordinary dragons of the dragon family. Moreover, maybe the fight might not break out. Lin Yan put his eyes on Aizen Sosuke. Maybe under Aizen Sosuke's Jinghua Shuiyu, the dragon clan may directly surrender. At the same time, Lin Yan was also a little curious, not knowing what kind of sparks Demiurge and Aizen Sosuke, 2 intellectual old shadows, would be able to spark together. Yes, Lord Lin Yan. Demiurge, who had been waiting on the side for a long time, nodded respectfully after hearing Lin Yan's words, and smiled at Aizen Sosuke and others. "Everyone, please, the arena is here." As a guild in the game, the Great Tomb of Nazarick naturally has an arena specially used for testing. Next, 10 Blades and Aizen Sosuke conducted a level test under the leadership of Demiurge. In the end, the grades of the 10 Blades ranged from LV90 to LV100, and the equipment was only one piece of equipment, the Zanpakut, which was evaluated as a world-class growth weapon. It is worth mentioning that the level of the leader, Aizen Sosuke, is not the highest, only LV97. But this is also a very normal thing. Before getting Bengaiu, Aizen Sosuke's frontal combat power is actually not top-notch, and Aizen Sosuke's strength is ability. One-handed mirror flower water moon is simply incomprehensible. It can be said that in the original work, if it wasn't for Aizen Sosuke who gave up Jinghua Shuiyu because he got Bengaiu, maybe the protagonist team would not even have the room to resist. After the test, Lin Yan directly worried about all the core combat power. The powerhouses from the LV90-100 level of the Great Tomb of Nazarick and the 10 Blades with broken faces were all present. Very good. If that's the case, then there's no need to be timid. Lin Yan looked at everyone present and said with a serious face, "Demiurge, I think you should understand what I mean. Tell everyone what I mean." After spending a long time with Demiurge, Lin Yan also learned to play tricks. In fact, Lin Yan himself doesn't know how to play next, but the ultimate licking dog who can fully understand his deep meaning must be able to know what he means. Although Lin Yan always felt that Aizen Sosuke should have seen something. My subordinate understands. According to the subordinate's meager understanding of Lin Yan's plan, Lin Yan should want to build an unprecedented human prosperity. After Demiurge heard Lin Yan's words, he immediately explained with a respectful expression, every human being is the precious treasure of Lord Lin Yan, and it is the private property of Lord Lin Yan. Knowing the name of Lord Lin Yan, these human beings can provide important things to Lord Lin Yan. Next, we will build an unprecedented powerful empire, gather humans as much as possible, and establish a good reproduction system. Demiurge explained Lin Yan's plan in great detail, saying that Lin Yan nodded frequently beside him. If it wasn't for Demiurge, Lin Yan wouldn't even know he was so smart. Nice. That's about it, so let's follow the plan that Demiurge said. After Lin Yan heard Demiurge's words, he smiled and said, build the strongest empire. In this way, the already high-profile kingdom of Heartfilia has become even more high-profile. A rumor that there is someone on the outside sounds exaggerated from the kingdom of Heartfilia. When there are only one or two such rumors, people naturally don't believe it very much, but when these rumors are spread everywhere in hundreds or even thousands of different versions, even if everyone thinks it's a bit exaggerated, they can't help but want to witness it. The number of people flocking to the kingdom of Heartfilia began to increase, and the number of people entering the kingdom of Heartfilia every day jumped from tens of thousands to 400,000 to 500,000. The border of Heartfilia kingdom is naturally not static, otherwise it would have been crowded by a steady stream of population. Since the kingdom of Heartfilia became the second country to be guarded by dragons after the kingdom of Dragonov, the surrounding countries began to swear allegiance to the kingdom of Heartfilia, the one in which the entire country is incorporated into the kingdom of Heartfilia. Chapter 21. So to this day, the territory of Heartfilia kingdom has already expanded more than 10 times, and it will not be a big problem to continue to absorb tens of millions of refugees. Before Lin Yan didn't draw the second silver level power, it was still a little overwhelming, and the Dragon Clan's kingdom, which was larger than himself, was carrying the dragon's sight in front of him. Now that there is a second silver level force, there is no need to pay too much attention to many things, and it is directly announcing the world with the highest profile. The strongest country, Heartfilia, was born. That is, the kingdom of Heartfilia, supported by 2 major silver forces, can play like this. Other countries, even the Dragonov kingdom, would not dare to play like this. Even if the Dragon clan didn't come to do things, the huge population would completely bring down the Dragonov kingdom. Even now, the strongest kingdom in the world, Dragonov, is feeling a little overwhelmed, otherwise, Irene and the Holy Dragon Belzarian would not have talked about Heartfilia last time. It was true that Heartfilia shared a lot of pressure on Dragonov. But in the same way, the high profile of the kingdom of Heartfilia also began to vaguely arouse the dissatisfaction of some giant dragons, and they felt a little angry. After all, I don't reply to private messages or explain, which is really arrogant. Because the fertility rate of the dragons has always been very low, and in addition to the fact that only the dragons were able to kill the dragons before, the dragons are generally very harmonious. Otherwise, the Holy Dragon Belzarian, who is not even the Dragon King, would not be able to keep the Dragonov kingdom for so long. It is entirely because the giant dragons in the dragon family are willing to sell the Holy Dragon Belzarian for a bit of face. Although the strength of the Holy Dragon Belzarian is not as strong as that of the Dragon King, it is almost equivalent to the elite-level dragon family, and it is not particularly weak. In addition to being relatively older, many dragons are actually descendants of the Holy Dragon Belzarian, so there is the current kingdom of Dragonov. It is also officially because of the mutual love between the dragons, so when the rumors spread in the early days of Heartfilia, the dragons have always been in a wait-and-see state. There are a lot of human beings in the world, and if he wants to play a game with humans like Belzarian, the dragon of the earth, then go play. However, because it is different now. With the support of the 2 silver-level forces in Lin Yan's hands, the kingdom of Heartfilia really collided too much, and the frantic expansion was frantically absorbing refugees from all over the world. In the absence of a reply from several giant dragons such as the Earth Dragons Baal Aber and Sharon Aurelia, some giant dragons have gradually begun to ignore the news that the kingdom of Heartfilia is guarded by the dragons of the earth, and they are more concerned about the fleeing kingdom of Heartfilia. Human hands. Border of the kingdom of Heartfilia. At this time, there was still a distance of almost 10 kilometers from Heartfilia's ever-expanding border, and there was a large team of refugees. Their homeland was destroyed by dragons, and they traveled to Heartfilia. In fact, at the beginning, they were actually closer to the kingdom of Dragonov, but there have been too many rumors about the kingdom of Heartfilia recently. After hesitating for a long time, they decided to choose the more distant kingdom of Heartfilia, not the closer kingdom of Dragonov. Now that they have gone through a long journey, they are finally approaching the end. P.S. In order to make the story easier to write, the author has slightly modified the settings. In the original work, Ziref and Natsu's parents were killed by the dragon-shaped black dragon Aknologia. The ages between the characters are not right. Now it will be rearranged in a unified way, and the viewers who have not read the comics will be regarded as the author and not mentioned. The huge crowd looked at the splendid buildings that were vaguely visible 10 kilometers away, and their eyes were sparkling. In order to increase the attractiveness of Demiurge, the buildings in the Kingdom of Heartfilia must be as cool as they are cool, and there are still many magic casters at the bottom of the great tomb of Nazarick. One of the little boys with cherry-colored hair pulled his arms excitedly, and the other was a little boy with black hair. If Lin Yan was here at this time, maybe the two little boys could be recognized at a glance. One is the original hero Natsu Dolanigel, and the other is the final boss of the original book, Ziref Dolanigel. Brother, it's so beautiful there. Are we going to live in this beautiful place in the future? Natsu looked excited. Seeing such a splendid building for the first time made Natsu temporarily forget the grief of escaping from his hometown. Probably. Now it seems that the rumors are not exaggerated. The Kingdom of Heartfilia is stronger than imagined. Chapter 22. Before Ziref could say anything, a gentle and steady voice came from beside him. I saw a man with black hair similar to Natsu standing less than a meter away from Natsu and Ziref. This is Natsu and Ziref's father. Next to it is a woman with cherry-colored hair that looks as detailed as Ziref's. There is no doubt that this is Ziref and Natsu's mother. At this time, Natsu and Ziref's parents have not had an accident. Is it really going to end so easily? Looking at the cloudless sky, Ziref sighed slightly in his heart. For some reason, as time went by, Ziref inexplicably felt that his heart became more and more depressed, just like the feeling of a whim. Obviously the surrounding environment and weather are so perfect and bright, but Ziref just feels very bad, very bad. This feeling makes Ziref a little overwhelmed. Everyone work hard. There's less than a moment to disappear before entering the borders of the Kingdom of Heartfilia. After we go to the Kingdom of Heartfilia, everyone can sleep in complete peace of mind. At this time, Ziref and Natsu's father spoke with a hint of excitement to all the people who fled around. After all, surviving a life in the wilderness is not so pleasant. Roar! Before Ziref and Natsu's father could finish speaking, a familiar roar came from the blue sky. The incomparably tall figure blocked the blue sky, shrouding everyone present in the shadows. The crowd, who were a little excited because the Kingdom of Heartfilia was right in front of them, sank directly into the bottom of the valley. Ha ha ha, interesting, interesting. The little bugs made the old man spend a lot of time. At this moment, the huge figure seemed to be in a very good mood. Seeing the despairing crowd, he laughed loudly and said, as the benefit of pleasing this old man during this period of time, then this old man will make an exception to let you know the old man's name. It is an unprecedented honor. The old man is the wind dragon Goodania. Originally, the old man planned to see how much fun you little bugs can bring to the old man, but just a little further ahead is the chassis of the old man's family. Although the old man is not afraid of those guys, but as a member of the same family, the old man has to give some face. So there is no way, the old man can only show up before you little bugs reach their territory, but looking at you now, the old man feels a little boring. Let you go directly, the old man is very unhappy. Little bugs, what do you think the old man should do? After talking a lot, the wind dragon Gerdnia just closed his mouth and looked at Ziref, Natsu and the others with a half smile. It seems that they want to see something more interesting from Ziref and Natsu. It is really hard to imagine how these dragons in the world of fairy tale, the lizard face can make so many humanized expressions. As Gerdnia's voice fell, the scene suddenly fell into silence, and everyone looked at the behemoth in front of them with fear. Ziref and Natsu's father were also sweaty and nervous, trying to figure out something. It has been almost a month since the escape, and many people have died in the fleeing team. After paying a huge price, they finally reached the border of the Kingdom of Heartfilia. It is impossible to give up here, but what should we do? Ziref and Natsu's father looked at the dragon in front of him with despair. He didn't know how to survive with his wife and children. Really? Is this the end? That's it. Unfortunately, the borders of our Heartfilia kingdom have expanded. At the same time, a voice came quietly from not far away, and I saw a blonde girl with brown skin and green eyes and a beautiful figure walking over slowly. There was no doubt that this girl was Tia Haribel, who was the top 3 in the 10 blades. Tia looked at the wind dragon Gerdnia and said indifferently, in this country, killing is prohibited. Everything in this country is the private property of Lin Yan. Those who make slaughter will be our enemy. Our enemy. Little bug, you're not bad, you made me laugh. Wind Dragon Gerdnia was stunned for a moment after hearing Tia's words, and then laughed out loud, as if she had heard some ridiculous joke. After all, in the impression of the Wind Dragon Gerdnia, it is indeed a pretty good joke to say that it is almost non-existent to become an enemy of the dragon race. Chapter 23. Looking at Tia, Gerdnia smiled and stroked his beard, and said with great relief, "Yes, little bug, as a reward for the funny old man, you can live to the end." "Okay, then there are those little bugs that can make the old man happy." Tear. Without waiting for Gerdnia's voice to fall, in the horrified eyes of everyone, the arm of the Wind Dragon Gerdnia, which revealed an extremely terrifying aura, was cut off abruptly. The huge arm fell to the side, making a dull crashing sound, and the red blood donation rushed out like a rushing river. "It's really annoying." Tia watched as she took back her Zanpakut, and said lightly, "You dragons are really just like what Lin Yan said, and you don't take what other people say as a single thing." "What?" The old man's arm." After being stunned for a while, Gerdnia looked at the arm that Tia had cut off lightly, and let out a hoarse roar. However, Goldenia, who is around LV80, is not at the same level at all when facing the world-class growth weapon Zanpakut, and Tia, whose LV is at LV97. This is completely unilateral crushing, and there is no room for resistance. How is this possible? Damn it, the old man is going to kill you today. Gerdnia looked at Tia with a ferocious expression. The severely wounded Gerdnia had no extra reason to think about why his body, which he regarded as steel, was cut off like a mountain in front of the human magician. But if Gerdnia maintains a little sanity, he can feel that it is extremely terrifying. It's really troublesome. Tia looked at the incompetent and furious Gerdnia, shrugged her shoulders indifferently, and said lightly, "If it wasn't for Aizen-sama's special explanation to play slower, you would have died long ago. Hurry up if you want to do it, my time is very precious." There is no doubt that Tia has the strength to instantly kill Gerdnia. And with Tia's usually taciturn and cautious character, Gerdnia died the moment she appeared, and she wouldn't let Gerdnia beep too much on her own. The reason why Gerdnia is here to talk for a long time is entirely because of the orders of Saushik Aizen and Demiurge. Once you encounter a dragon attacking a fugitive from the kingdom of Heartfilia, don't immediately kill the dragon attacking the fugitive, but slow down. Let the fugitives who are the audience see the power of the kingdom of Heartfilia, so that more and more people or countries will want to become part of the kingdom of Heartfilia. It's really arrogant. Today, the old man will let you know that the dragon family is terrible. The materialized magic in Gerdnia began to burn wildly. Thanks to the unique physique advantage of the dragons, each dragon possesses an incredible amount of magic power, and it is not without reason why humans are weak in front of the dragons. Just the difference in body shape is enough to explain a lot. Under the roar of Gerdnia, with Gerdnia as the center, the ground began to crack quickly because it couldn't bear the explosion of the huge magic power, and the ground began to tremble wildly. Everyone present retreated after seeing the scene in front of them. This is the first time they have seen the horror of the dragon race with their own eyes. It is not a level, not a dimensional existence. Although they also thought that the dragon family was terrible before, the dragon family seldom acted genuinely towards the ants, and now they know it. The wind is blowing. The endless gust of wind began to condense towards Gerdnia's side. As a wind dragon, Gerdnia naturally controls the magic of the wind, and can easily use forbidden techniques that human wizards can't use even if they try their best. It's just that before Gerdnia can move on to the next step, the sudden gust of wind suddenly dissipated. Then everyone present saw a scene that they could never forget in their entire life. The dragon, the symbol of invincibility, the dragon that destroyed their homeland, was cut down by Tia, who seemed to be the kingdom of Heartfilia. Boom! A large amount of dragon blood swept down from the sky like a downpour. The dragon body that was cut into 2 pieces fell to the ground. How is it possible? Ming, obviously it's just a mere human being. Gerdnia stared at Tia, who had no expression from beginning to end. The huge vitality prevented Gerdnia from entering death immediately even if it was cut in half. Gerdnia, would never have imagined that one day he would die among human ants. Chapter 24. At this moment, under Tia's performance, Lin Yan's reputation, which had stopped a little, began to grow again at a relatively obvious rate. After all, the instant killing of the giant dragon is much more shocking than the previous rumors, and it is worth mentioning that the huge commotion here has long been noticed by many people. It started the moment Tia cut off Gerdnia's arm with one knife. If the initiator of all this is Lin Yan at this time, it is estimated that Lin Yan's reputation value will usher in another surge. Unfortunately, Lin Yan is not in the kingdom of Heartfilia now. Otherwise, Lin Yan will definitely not leave this opportunity to pretend to Tia. Tia's pretending has nothing to do with Lin Yan, and will not directly increase Lin Yan's reputation value. At most, it is an indirect increase in reputation value. Of course, after having 2 silver-level forces, Lin Yan is also more salty. After all, there is almost no one in this world that can threaten him. Even the last 2 big bosses in the original book, the Black Wizard Zeref and the Black Dragon Aknologia, are the existence of 2 full-fledged LV100s. Lin Yan is completely true, even the legendary god. Lin Yan thinks, don't worry too much, as long as you don't touch the taboos of life and death, there should be no problem. Moreover, even if he touches it, Lin Yan feels that the so-called gods are only 1 level higher than silver, and may not even be gold. Through the introduction in the system, Lin Yan knew very well how strong a gold-level character was. Aizen Soyajuk, who has turned on the collapsed jade state, can only be regarded as a gold rank. From the 10 blade of Aizen Soyajuk, who has the state of collapsed jade, still within the scope of silver-level forces, it can be seen how terrifying the gold-level forces are. And at the current speed, even if Lin Yan continues to salt fish, it is a sure thing to reach 1 billion reputation points for summoning gold-level forces. Of course, having said that, Lin Yan was still a little curious after the sudden surge in RP. Did you actually increase the reputation value so much at one time? It seems that something must have happened at Heartfilia Dragonov Kingdom. Lin Yan, who was walking around with Albedo, Shaltir, and the others, looked at the system panel that suddenly refreshed the screen, turned to the side, and said to Albedo, "Albedo, ask what's going on." "Okay." After hearing Lin Yan's order, Albedo said respectfully, "Lord Lin Yan." After speaking, Albedo just started to contact the situation at the Great Tomb of Nazarick, and Shaltir, who was beside him with a smile on his face, squeezed Albedo who was massaging Lin Yan just now. "Go aside. Albedo, you are busy first. Then, Shaltir will give Mr. Lin Yan a massage." Shaltir looked at Albedo and made a face with a smile, and then said to Lin Yan, "Lord Lin Yan, Shaltir has been studying how to massage recently. Do you think this strength is appropriate?" After finally grasping this opportunity to get in touch with Lin Yan, Shaltir wouldn't mind watching. After Albedo finished what Lin Yan had arranged, it was too late. As for Albedo next to him, she showed a gentle smile at Shaltir's grimace. Those who knew Albedo's character would know that Albedo's anger was about to explode. However, Lin Yan's matter is the most important. Albedo's loyalty to Lin Yan even outweighed her love for Lin Yan, so Albedo was ready to clean up Shaltir, the little bitch, after finishing what Lin Yan explained. Of course, even though Shaltir would often call Shaltir a little bitch because Shaltir was jealous of herself, Shaltir had been a partner with Albedo for a long time. As the guardian of the Great Tomb of Nazarick, Albedo still cares about the friends of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Kindness. Lin Yan stretched a little and smiled at Shaltir, "Not bad." It had been almost half a year since the Great Tomb of Nazarick was summoned. At the beginning, Lin Yan was not used to the jealousy between Albedo and Shaltir. Now, it has almost become a daily routine. To be honest, it was not bad to have a fight with Albedo and Shaltir every day. Seeing Albedo and Shaltir who had been fighting for a long time, Lin Yan shook his head with a smile, and turned his eyes to other places. This is a border city in the Dragonov Kingdom. As the strongest kingdom in the world before, the Kingdom of Dragonov, guarded by the Holy Dragon Belzarian, is not as perfect as Lin Yan imagined. Dirty excrement was everywhere, and it stinks to the sky. The roadside is full of poor people who collapsed to the ground. Even if they successfully came to the Kingdom of Dragonov, which would not be infested by giant dragons, their lives would still not be much better. Chapter 25. Before the rise of the Kingdom of Heartfilia, refugees from all over the world flocked towards the Kingdom of Dragonov, and the huge population directly dragged down the economy of the Kingdom of Dragonov. Although the Kingdom of Dragonov is guarded by the Holy Dragon Belzarian, so that other dragons will not come to harass and attack the Kingdom of Dragonov, but in the same way, the Holy Dragon Belzarian should not be too much. Other dragons see that the Holy Dragon Belzarian is older, and it is considered that an elder is willing to give the holy dragon Belzarian 3-point thin noodles, but Belzarian is the same here. Therefore, the Dragonov kingdom has been the #1 kingdom in the world for many years, but the territory has not expanded much. Even if the neighboring countries want to surrender and join in, the Dragonov kingdom will not dare to accept it. This led to the current situation of the Dragonov kingdom. The territory has not expanded much at all, but the number of refugees has indeed increased year by year. Even though the Dragonov kingdom has banned outsiders from entering without authorization, there has been no way for them to do so for a long time. A large number of refugees tried their best to come to the kingdom of Dragonov. Even if the kingdom of Dragonov was the world's most powerful country before, it was already vaguely unsustainable. The large population that could not be used directly brought the economic system of the Dragonov kingdom to the brink of collapse, and many people were in a state where they could not even eat enough to eat. In order to save the little physical strength left, there is also the scene that Lin Yan is seeing now. No matter where he is lying on the ground, staring at the sky numbly, and living in a daze. The only thing that the Dragonov kingdom can do is to distribute a little food that will not starve to death every once in a while. It's just that now, the Dragonov kingdom can't even do this. You know that from time to time when someone starves to death. What a waste! Lin Yan shook his head when he saw the scene in front of him, and said, if all these populations are used, I am afraid that gold-level forces will be summoned soon. Lin Yan felt a little pity. It's just that Demiurge and Aizen Soyajuk both gave reports, and now the kingdom of Heartfilia is actually in a state of extreme operation. It can only absorb hundreds of thousands of slow jokes every day. After so many years of accumulation of refugees in Dragonov, even if the fatality rate is high, there are probably hundreds of millions of them, which is definitely not what the current Heartfilia kingdom can eat. Not to mention hundreds of millions of people, even if 10 million people suddenly flooded into Heartfilia kingdom, it would be like the last straw that broke the camel's back, causing Heartfilia kingdom to be in chaos in an instant. A collapse is not a collapse, but it is likely to delay a lot of time. Originally, hundreds of thousands of people were slowly absorbed every day, and 10 million people could be absorbed in less than a month. If 10 million people poured into the kingdom of Heartfilia, it would take at least 3 months for the kingdom of Heartfilia to return to normal. May not have the ability to absorb and digest refugees. Forcing to absorb it will only make the economic system of the Heartfilia kingdom collapse directly and completely like the current Dragonov kingdom. And if he can't get these people out of a state of numbness, it's hard for Lin Yan to gain prestige from these people who have completely lost faith in the future. That's why Lin Yan said waste. Lord Lin Yan. Master Momanga has already replied to the message just now. At this time, Albedo also contacted Nazarick's great tomb, walked over to Lin Yan and said respectfully, it's because Tia on the side of the 10 blades killed a dragon. It has now spread that the kingdom of Heartfilia possesses the power to kill dragons. Oh! Did another dragon have a head-on conflict with us? When Lin Yan heard Albedo's report, he said with a difference, I thought they should have been patient longer. Although Heartfilia kingdom has been a high-profile push recently, it has always been borrowing the names of the dragons of the earth and the wind. According to Lin Yan's estimation, things shouldn't happen so soon. Because of the expansion of the borders of the kingdom of Heartfilia, that giant dragon happens to be in the territory of the kingdom of Heartfilia. At that time, Tia, who had broken face and 10 blades, was nearby and found that the giant dragon violated the newly enacted laws of the kingdom of Heartfilia. According to the law, the giant dragon that violated the law was beheaded on the spot. Albedo briefly reported the previous incident to Lin Yan. Kill it and kill it. Then let's see what the dragon's reaction is. Lin Yan looked at the 100 million RP once again. Lin Yan just smiled indifferently, tell Demiurge and Aizen Saoshuk, you don't need any hesitation. All violations of the laws of the kingdom of Heartfilia shall be executed in accordance with the rules. If 2 silver-level forces are unstable, then there are 3 silver-level forces. Although Lin Yan wants to save some reputation, let the reputation value break 1 billion to draw gold-level forces. But if the Dragon Clan insists on looking for trouble, then Lin Yan doesn't mind spending another 100 million reputation points to extract the silver power, and the 3 silver powers join forces to completely destroy the Dragon Clan. Chapter 26. After hearing Lin Yan's words, Albedo smiled slightly and said, I'll reply Momanga-sama and the others. Kindness. Lin Yan nodded, then put his head on Shaltair's lap, and said, it's no longer interesting to continue here. Go to the royal city of the Dragonov kingdom and then go back. Albedo, open the teleportation channel. Lin Yan is going to see Irene, the mother of the fairy queen Urza in the original book. The reason why I left the kingdom of Heartfilia and came to the kingdom of Dragonov was because I was always bored in the kingdom of Heartfilia, and I also wanted to meet Irene, Urza's mother. In the original book, Urza's mother, Irene, didn't end well. Okay, Mr. Lin Yan. Albedo smiled and glanced at Shaltir, who was blushing with excitement because Lin Yan put her head on her lap, and said with a smile on her face, I don't know, where are you going to the royal city, Lord Lin Yan? Well, let me think about it. After hearing Albedo's words, Lin Yan thought for a moment and said, on the side of the royal city of the Dragonov kingdom. Okay. Lord Lin Yan. Recently, those little bugs of humans are really getting more and more arrogant. On the continent of Ishgar, in an uninhabited corner, there was a sudden cold hum, which was full of dissatisfaction. P.S. Ishgar continent, the continent where the original Fiori kingdom is located. It can be seen that the kingdom of Heartfilia, which has been intensifying among human beings recently, has already made the dragon clan very unhappy, and it can even be said that the two words unhappy are written on their faces. Humph, that's right. It's just being sheltered by those guys from the Earth Dragon and the Wind Dragon, it's ridiculous to dare to be so arrogant. Along with the fall of the voice just now, another tone of dissatisfaction emerged. And, along with the emergence of the voice, an incomparably huge figure slowly walked out of the dark. With dark red skin, a huge body that is dozens of meters high, and a pair of wings on its back, it is the dragon that has been feared by humans for countless years. The skin color of the dragon family is related to the magical attributes it possesses. Now this dragon that has always had dark red skin is almost a dragon that prefers the fire attribute. In fact, this conclusion can also be drawn from the names of other dragon races to this dragon. Red Dragon King, what are you going to do next? Looking at you like this, it seems that you are very angry with those ants. The other giant dragons looked at the Red Dragon King, who stood up, and said in a slightly respectful tone, are you going to destroy the kingdom guarded by the Earth Dragon and the Wind Dragon? Thinking about it, they shouldn't be angry with us because of a mere toy. Up to now, most of the giant dragons are still a new toy from the kingdom of Heartfilia, which is the dragon of the earth and the dragon of the wind. It should have developed some new gameplay for humans. Therefore, regarding the recent high-profile actions of the kingdom of Heartfilia, the dragons are basically in a state of patience, ready to see what the Earth Dragon and the Wind Dragon are going to do. Dragons with a 1,000-year lifespan would have no problem waiting for a year or a half. Of course, at this time, the news of the killing of dragons in the Heartfilia kingdom has not yet spread, so the dragons have not had any great ideas about the Heartfilia kingdom. However, in the next second, all the dragons present, or in other words all the dragons in the world, including the dragons who are close to humans, turned extremely ugly. The news of Heartfilia kingdom killing a dragon spread. For the first time in thousands of years, a dragon has died in the hands of a human being in the dragon race. The news made all the dragons feel unbelievable and even a little ridiculous. It's just a pity that once this assumption is established, then why the dragon of the earth and the dragon of wind and the others never reply to private messages will naturally become clear. It's not that the earth dragon Baalab and the wind dragon Aurelia don't reply to the private messages, but because they have been killed by the humans in the kingdom of Heartfilia, there is no way to reply to the private messages. But can humans really have the power to kill dragons? Most dragons cannot accept such a result. Inside the palace of King Dragonov, Irene, who was researching the possibility of combining additional magic with the power of the dragon, was shocked when she heard the news that Belzarian told him. What? Belzarian, are you telling the truth? Irene looked at Belzarian in disbelief. Irene never imagined that he had just started to study magic enough to defeat the dragon, and the Heartfilia kingdom had already successfully killed the dragon. It should be right. Heartfilia kingdom is indeed killing dragons. Sacred Dragon Belzarian's expression at this time is also a little dignified and said, I heard that there is more than one dragon, the dragon of the earth, the dragon of the wind, the Salon. A total of 6 dragons have lost contact. Chapter 27. 6 dragons. Belzarian, you mean, a total of 6 dragons have lost contact with the kingdom of Heartfilia. Irene was even more shocked. To know that this is not 1 or 2, but a full 6 dragons. So far, human history has not killed even a single giant dragon. As a result, in less than a year, or even less than half a year, 6 dragons have lost contact with the kingdom of Heartfilia. That's right. 6 dragons have already lost contact. Sacred Dragon Belzarian looked at the shocked and speechless Irene, and said a little heavy, "Sure enough, it's the same as I imagined. Humans are a race that can create miracles. Before you, Irene, created the magic that can defeat dragons, someone has done miracles before you. It's just that this miracle will soon disappear." The Holy Dragon Belzarian sighed slightly. "I am sorry for my dead kin, and I am sorry for the miracle that is about to die." The eldest of the 6 deceased members of the same clan was only over 200 years old, and they were all very young men in the dragon clan. Human beings only rely on their own strength to create magic that can defeat the dragon, which is also very good. I am afraid that starting from today, the dragons may begin to look at humans, a race once regarded as ants, which may not be good news for humans. Belzarian, what do you mean? After hearing the words of the Holy Dragon Belzarian, Irene's expression also sank suddenly, and she had a bad premonition in her heart, and she asked in a low mood, "Has the dragon family decided to start?" "Definitely will do it. The kingdom of Heartfilia is really impatient." Looking at Irene, who was in a somewhat depressed mood, the Holy Dragon Belzarian sighed again and said, "If you can calm down a little bit, add the magic Irene you are about to research. Maybe I can really get along with the dragons on an equal footing." "It's too late now, the Red Dragon King Budalamirs is ready to do it himself." "That's right, in the eyes of the Holy Dragon Belzarian, even if Irene uses her own power to successfully research the magic that can defeat the dragon, and with the addition of the magic that can kill dragons in the kingdom of Heartfilia, at most, the dragons will no longer regard humans as ants, and will no longer treat humans as they used to. Dragons are really powerful. The strength of the Dragon King is even stronger and terrifying. Sacred Dragon Belzarian knows very well how terrifying the Dragon King's strength is. If his own strength is already very strong, and if many ordinary people are not comparable to him, then the Dragon King can instantly kill himself. In front of the Dragon King, the kingdom of Heartfilia will not have any resistance. Is the Dragon King ready to do it himself? Then there is no way. Even if you can study the magic to defeat ordinary dragons, it is absolutely impossible to study the magic to defeat the Dragon King." After Irene heard the words of the Holy Dragon Belzarian, she lowered her head and sighed. Irene has followed the Holy Dragon Belzarian since she was a child. Irene is also very aware of how terrifying the Dragon King is. Since the Dragon King has decided to do it, there is no need to think too much. Just wait quietly for the news of the destruction of the kingdom of Heartfilia. Even, Irene has to start worrying about whether the Dragon Clan will be angered by the Dragon Clan. After all, it is the first time that the Dragon Clan has killed a dragon in the hands of what they think is an ant. Oh! Is there actually a legendary Dragon King who wants to attack our kingdom of Heartfilia? Interesting. Before the Holy Dragon Belzarian could continue to say something, a strange and never-heard voice suddenly appeared and entered the ears of Irene and the Holy Dragon Belzarian. Who? Irene and Sacred Dragon Belzarian were stunned for a while, and then they quickly looked in the direction of the voice with a wary expression. I didn't know when a space channel appeared in the direction from which the voice came, and a slender man wearing a cyan gown walked out slowly with a hint of laziness. Behind him are 2 girls with different temperaments, each with their own style. This was naturally Lin Yan, Albedo, and Shaltir. First meet. Lin Yan looked at Irene, who looked a little wary, and chuckled lightly, saying, "I should be considered the actual controller of the kingdom of Heartfilia at present." As Lin Yan's voice fell, Albedo and Shaltir, who had been making eye contact just now, immediately put on their most dignified posture. In front of outsiders, Albedo and Shaltir were Lin Yan's faces. Albedo and Shaltir would not forgive themselves if Lin Yan was embarrassed for their own reasons. Chapter 28. The actual controller of the kingdom of Heartfilia. It seems that the kingdom of Heartfilia suddenly has the strength to defeat the dragon race, all because of the handwriting of you, the actual controller. After hearing Lin Yan's self-introduction, Irene's eyes narrowed slightly. More or less. After all, if it wasn't for me, the kingdom of Heartfilia would have long since existed. Lin Yan nodded and admitted Irene's speculation. There is nothing to deny this. Is that so? Irene nodded thoughtfully, looking at Lin Yan with a hint of exploration in her eyes. Is this the man of miracles that the Holy Dragon Belzarian speaks of? After a little admiration in her heart, Irene asked curiously, I don't know that your excellency suddenly came to the palace of my Dragonov kingdom, what's your reason? Just now, your excellency wanted to come and heard it. The Red Dragon King is preparing to act against the kingdom of Heartfilia. Your Excellency, it's better to go back as soon as possible and prepare as soon as possible. Even if the country can't be saved, let the people in the country survive as much as possible. At this moment, the expression on Irene's face was very serious. Irene doesn't think that Lin Yan can keep the country in front of the Dragon King, but Irene thinks that Lin Yan can at least work hard to make his people die less. Even if it is a little less, a little bit. You don't seem to think that I can keep Heartfilia from the Dragon King. Lin Yan looked at Irene with a sincere face, just smiled a little, the corners of his mouth turned up slightly, and said, "How about we make a bet?" Originally, Lin Yan was really planning to visit the royal city of Dragonov Kingdom. But now, Lin Yan should pay attention suddenly. Lin Yan thinks that the Dragonov Kingdom is not bad. The Dragonov Kingdom plus countless refugees is estimated to have a population of 3 or 4 billion, if the Dragonov Kingdom surrenders to itself. Maybe he can really swallow these 3 or 4 billion people in one bite and make himself a big fat man. With a population of 300 million to 400 million people, even if each person only gives himself a little reputation, he can have 300 million to 400 million reputation. If he put in a little more effort to increase the ratio between fresh and unforgettable memories, Lin Yan might be able to directly collect enough reputation for summoning gold-level forces. What bet? You seem very confident. Or, do you think that after killing an ordinary dragon, you feel that the Dragon King has no threat? Seeing Lin Yan's appearance of not taking her own words seriously, Irene's brows were deeply wrinkled, and she couldn't get used to Lin Yan's dangling appearance. Can such a person really work miracles? Instinctively, this idea popped into Irene's mind. Lin Yan's performance, from the perspective of Irene, who has been educated by various royal education leaders since childhood, is really bad and very unqualified. Lin Yan himself admitted this. I am really not a professional in this area, so I directly entrusted the kingdom of Heartfilia to Anna Heartfilia. However, Lin Yan hadn't spoken yet. Albedo's smile disappeared after Irene's voice fell, and Shaltair's face became a little cold. From Albedo's point of view, Irene's questioning of Lin Yan just now definitely offended Lin Yan. If it wasn't for Lin Yan's inaction, Albedo would have erupted long ago. Since loyalty was greater than love, Albedo would not arbitrarily decide for Lin Yan, and Shaltair's side was the same. Of course, this didn't mean that Albedo and Shaltair would not make their own decisions. Everything is based on reality. Watch your words, Irene Dragonov. The words and deeds you have shown, I can think that you are provoking Lord Lin Yan. Albedo looked at Irene coldly, and an extremely dangerous aura began to appear on her body. For a moment, Irene and Belzarian, the holy dragon on the side, felt like there was a big mountain on them, and there was a feeling of breathlessness. After all, Albedo is a LV-100, a super powerful figure with a full-body magical outfit and world-class props, even the black dragon acknowledged at its peak, facing Albedo. It doesn't matter who wins and who loses. That's right. I will never let anyone offend Lin Yan. Shaltair was also beside Albedo, her face was silent. There was also a faint hint of a dangerous aura that was no less than Albedo's. Okay, don't be so nervous. Seeing Albedo and Shaltair who suddenly became super fierce, Lin Yan hurriedly reached out and touched the heads of Albedo and Shaltair. After calming Albedo and Shaltair down, Lin Yan once again put his eyes on Irene and the holy dragon Belzarian, who looked a little terrified, and chuckled, I'm really confident. How about it, do you want to make a bet on whether I can keep Heartfilia in front of the Dragon King? If you fail, naturally everything will be empty, but if you succeed, everything in Dragonov belongs to me, including you. Irene Dragonov. Chapter 29. What do you mean? What does it mean that Dragonov belongs to you, and I also belong to you? Irene didn't feel timid because of the terrifying aura she felt from Albedo and Shaltair just now, and looked at Lin Yan with a resolute expression. A pair of beautiful big eyes does not give anyone any feeling of weakness, nor does he feel embarrassed by Lin Yan's seemingly frivolous language. Some are just bright and unyielding. Irene Dragonov is a human leader in this era. A true Valkyrie. In terms of merit, no one can compare to Irene, who created the magic that can defeat the dragons. However, before Irene's voice completely fell, Irene was a little horrified to find that Lin Yan, who was a little away from him just now, didn't move at all, and came to him in an instant. It means literally. Lin Yan slightly raised Irene's white chin with her fingers and smiled, if I can keep Heartfilia in front of that red dragon king, then the kingdom of Siligunov will be mine. Including you, everything in the Dragonov kingdom is my private property. It will also be my precious treasure. If you can really do it, and still be a qualified leader. Irene didn't show any timidity at all, just let Lin Yan hook her chin, stared straight into Lin Yan's eyes, and said seriously, then everything is as you wish, so what's the harm? Is that so? So, Irene Dragonov, do you think you are a qualified leader? After hearing Irene's words, Lin Yan said thoughtfully, or, do you want to become a qualified leader and lead the people to a happier life? I'm not very interested in running the country. If you lose at that time, I can allow you to keep your identity as a princess. Like Anna Heartfilia, the princess of the kingdom of Heartfilia, help me manage the country. As long as you can. I, Irene Dragonov, will serve you. Irene glanced at Albedo and Shaltir who were behind Lin Yan, and felt a terrible aura from these two just now, and then put her eyes on Lin Yan again, and said lightly, I'll go back to you. It doesn't matter. Click. As Irene's voice fell, a sound of something breaking suddenly came from somewhere. The only thing I could see was that the smiles on the faces of Albedo and Shaltir became brighter, as if something happened that made them happy. Very well, then it's agreed. I'll invite you over to watch the ceremony. Lin Yan withdrew his hand, and a little flirt was enough. Holding Lin Yan all the time was embarrassing, and Irene would be embarrassed as well, and said nonchalantly, when the Red Dragon King comes to our Heartfilia. Okay, the goal is achieved, Albedo, let's go back. After finishing speaking, Lin Yan gave Albedo an order, and directly let Albedo open the space passage to return to the Great Tomb of Nazarick and return to the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Seeing the disappearance of Lin Yan, Albedo, and Shaltir, Irene and the Holy Dragon Belzarian were silent for a long time. Although they didn't say it clearly, Albedo and Shaltir were a little scared just now. Belzarian. You said, can he really save Heartfilia from the Dragon King's hands? I don't know how long it took, but Irene, who looked at Lin Yan's disappearing direction, suddenly came back to her senses, and muttered to herself, the aura of those two women just now seems to be more terrifying than you, Belzarian. Cannot say it clearly. Whether it's the Dragon King or the two just now, they all give me a very unfathomable feeling. The Holy Dragon Belzarian shook his head slightly after hearing Irene's words. The Holy Dragon Belzarian himself didn't know whether it was Albedo and Shaltir who were stronger or the Dragon King stronger. Although he has always been very confident in his own race, the Holy Dragon Belzarian, after what happened just now, the Holy Dragon Belzarian himself has some doubts shaken. The King of Dragons, can he really defeat the two women who revealed terrifying aura just now? Obviously, the Holy Dragon Belzarian has seen the horror of the Dragon King with his own eyes, but he has been shaken by it for a long time. But at least one thing can be confirmed. Perhaps, the kingdom of Heartfilia is not as vulnerable as he imagined to be attacked by the Dragon King. At least, the two women just now, facing the Dragon King, definitely have the possibility to resist or even fight. Just wait and see. Looking at Irene, who was a little dazed, the Holy Dragon Belzarian just sighed lightly. Maybe that's fine too. Belzarian, the Holy Dragon who has watched Irene grow up since he was a child, knows how much pressure Irene has in his heart and what he is carrying. Kindness. After hearing the words of the Holy Dragon Belzarian, Irene nodded slightly and said no more. Chapter 30. The next thing will naturally become simpler. Naturally, the Heartfilia kingdom would not be in a hurry because of the dragon slaying in the public, but began to set up a magic academy with great momentum. As long as they are citizens of the kingdom of Heartfilia, they can take the entrance exam for the magic academy before they are 12 years old. After passing the exam, they can become a member of the magic academy, learn magic, and become a wizard. The magic academy not only has the local magic that Lin Yan has collected from the two major silver powers during this period of time, but even the 1st to 7th level magic of the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Lin Yan also chose to join the magic academy's library. The 7th order magic is already equivalent to the local forbidden magic. It can be said that this magic academy has just been established, and it already has a very deep foundation. The kingdom of Heartfilia is also developing very rapidly. Half a year ago, the kingdom of Heartfilia was just an ordinary country with a population of less than 1 million, and it was still facing the risk of being destroyed by the dragon race at any time. Now, Heartfilia has a population of nearly 100 million, making it the country with the largest population outside the kingdom of Dragonov. Moreover, the territory is far wider than that of Dragonov, who cannot expand freely. At this point, it has been almost a week since Lin Yan made an agreement with Irene. Lin Yan was a little surprised by the reaction from the Dragon Clan. After knowing that 6 dragons had problems in Heartfilia Kingdom, the Dragon King of the Dragon Clan did not really rely on his invincible strength to come to the door to do things. Instead, he carefully collected information on the Heartfilia Kingdom. However, the Dragon Clan did not collect any information either. Whether it was the Great Tomb of Nazarick or the Fractured Face and 10 Blades, none of them could be collected by a 3-legged cat like the Dragon Clan. Lin Yan believes that dragons who are proud to the core, especially the King of Dragons who stood at the top from birth, will not have much patience. If you can't find any useful information, you will soon come to the door. Instead, Irene had a little problem. Because of the agreement with Lin Yan, Irene is being questioned by the Minister of State. Dragonov Kingdom. Above the hall of the regular meeting held every day. Princess Irene. You are too hasty. An old man who looked kind-hearted stood up and scolded, how can you agree to that kind of agreement so easily? You are the future queen of our Dragonov Kingdom. How can it easily become the property of others? And, you forgot, you have already made a marriage contract with the Prince of the Kingdom of Lomadan. The Kingdom of Lomadan is a kingdom adjacent to the Kingdom of Dragonov. This kingdom is rich in food. Because of its proximity to the Kingdom of Dragonov, it has hardly suffered from the invasion of giant dragons. Because of the abundance of food, the Kingdom of Lomadan often provides a large amount of food to the Kingdom of Dragonov, alleviating the embarrassment of the increasing population of the Kingdom of Dragonov. It can be said that if it weren't for the supply of the Kingdom of Lomadan, the Kingdom of Dragonov would have collapsed long ago. It is precisely because of this, considering the supply of the Kingdom of Lomadan, that the Kingdom of Dragonov will allow Irene to marry the Prince of the Kingdom of Lomadan, and prepare to kiss each other. In the original book, Irene married the Prince of the Kingdom of Lomadan and began her tragic life. I didn't feel it was a hasty decision. If the other party has the ability to face the Dragon King and is a qualified leader, then I think he can accept his conditions. As long as everyone in the Dragonov Kingdom can live happily. Irene didn't have any timidity when facing Lin Yan. At this time, she would naturally not feel uncomfortable facing this kind of accusation from ordinary people, but explained it with reason. Confused. Irene, as the future queen of our Dragonov Kingdom, how can you so easily trust other people's words? How can someone who can say it's all my property be a qualified leader? Irene's explanation didn't work. Without waiting for Irene to finish speaking, a middle-aged minister stood up and said righteously, Master Shenglong has already said that, there is already a Dragon King who is going to attack Heartfilia. How could it be possible to postpone the engagement with the Kingdom of Lomadan because of a country that is about to be destroyed? His Royal Highness, once we lose the assistance of the Kingdom of Lomadan, our Kingdom of Dragonov will really be destroyed. At this time, Irene also saw it. From the very beginning, these ministers were concerned not with themselves, but with the assistance of the Kingdom of Lomadan. I don't know since when, the strongest kingdom in the world, Dragonov, has become a bloated giant baby.